defenders have been given. Like,
And we're back. I've got Kenny Ken. I've got DJB. By now, if you're on this channel, you know Wednesdays is when we go live and things like that. Big up the lads. How you lot doing, man? How you lot doing?
All good. All good. I had a few problems with the old PC. It just like blank screened on me and I couldn't get it
Thankfully,
up.
we got there in the end, man.
Yeah, it was madness. So, but we're here. We're here. Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Big up the chat. And Kenny, my right-hand man again. And yeah, all happy. Top of the league, 6 points in the Champions League. So, yeah.
Super Mick Arteta, trust the process, man. We'll get into it.
I won't go that far, but I'm happy.
Kenny, how are you, my friend?
yeah, I'm really good. Really good. You know, we've got a really good pockets to talk about. You know, when people think there's not really anything to talk about with Arsenal, but you know, two important stuff about Arsenal. You know, Raya and signing a new deal. That's fantastic. I think Timber signed a new deal as well.
We've got all them things to discuss.
And then obviously stadium expansion. That's very, very important because obviously I think all of us will probably the good thing about this debate is that I think we'll have different views about preferences of where we're going to go in this. And I'm looking forward to the show, of course, and of course the chat. You can't talk about this show without talking about our great chat.
Big up the chat, man. The real MVPs of the show, man. Any questions and talking points and anything you want to cover or any opinions you want to, you know, go over, people, please do let us know. Subscribe to DJB's platform as well. It's been posted. He's actually posted in the chat himself. Please, mods, can we keep that up? Before we get into the stadium and Raya and Timber and Liverpool and top of the league and everything, a bit of a selfish question for both of you, really, just because I want to get you both of your thoughts. Like, talk to me about West Ham.
Well, it was... I mean, it's an old cliche, like job well done, really. It was a bit of a training session, really. There was patterns of play. There was good moments in the game. But listen, you only raise your standards to the opposition. And I'll be honest with you, West Ham had a game plan, but I didn't quite think that they were going to be that negative. I thought they was going to show a little bit more. But they didn't offer anything. We had lots of time on the ball. We dictated the pace of the game, and I think it showed, really. 2 goals. Declan took his goal very, very well, showed Eze how to finish. And no, Deckers took his goal well, which he enjoyed deep down. You could tell he was really wanting to celebrate.
He's starting to get pissed off with West Ham fans.
Yeah,
he might celebrate if he bags again.
And I don't blame him. It's something that I've never understood. Large sections of the West Ham fans do it to Declan because he gave everything.
They still love him, man, really.
He gave everything to that club right up until the day he left. You know, it's not as if he was playing badly and forcing a move. He was giving 100% right up until the very last game.
Him a record fee as well.
Yeah, I don't understand that, but it is what it is. Some individual performances. I thought Timber was outstanding again. I thought that was one of Rice's better games, if you like. Yeah, it all in all, a good result. Could we have really gone to the juggler and scored more goals? Listen, if we win 2-0 every week, I'm not going to be worried about how many goals we score. Do you know what I mean? So it was literally, I know it's an old cliche, but it was literally job well done. Weren't the most exciting of games. You know, it was a bit flat in stages. But as I said, the opposition didn't offer too much, DG, if I'm honest with you. And I think that added to how we played. I think if they'd have stepped it up, I think we could have then stepped up. We could have then stepped it up another gear.
That's professional performance, to be fair.
Yeah, it just petered out. Just petered out. I was just having bets with my boys. Where does Calafiori play? You know, because
he's everywhere.
we was playing the game, not like where's Wally, where's Calafiore, like, because he was on the left side, then he was on the right, then he was in the centre, then he was playing up front, then he was on the right.
He hit the post.
he was literally all over the place. But apparently, according to the boss, it kind of causes confusion with the opposition.
I mean, if it confuses us, the opposition are in trouble, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
if you look at
exactly,
the ground, then you can't make out where he's
playing. What I have got to address though, and people have been kind of giving me a bit of hard time about Gyökeres and the nickname I've given him at the moment. But listen,
what nickname?
It's Andy Carroll, isn't it? It's the red and white Andy Carroll. But upper body strength, pushes play, strong.
I see the angle.
Target
Is
man.
it not kinder than some of the names he's been given on social media? To be fair, I can't imagine you get stick for that.
Yeah, no. Technically, he's not the best. But listen, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think it's more the system rather than the player, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, let me ask you that, DJB, because me and you have spoken about that before, yeah, and I think you're right. But I'm not going to lie to you. If we look at the Newcastle game, West Ham, and then obviously in the middle, Olympiacos, I think it's been on Gyökeres, Like, I'd love to know your thoughts.
I was going to get to that, DJ. I was going to say, I thought it was the system, and it probably is certain elements where he's making runs, and we just like to hold on to that ball that little bit too long in midfield, where he's used to long balls and through balls through the middle. Whereas when it gets through our midfield, we tend to slow the tempo down because it's very possession-based type of football. So Rice might take that little bit too long, or Zubimendi may do. But then I was looking at it and I'm thinking, sometimes when things ain't going for you and you're a number 9, you've got to kind of try and create your own kind of
force your luck
passage of play and force your luck. You've got to try and do things that are a little bit off the cuff. It could be where you pick the ball up from deep, run and take a shot, force the goalkeeper to save, get a corner out of it. Even if it goes over the bar or just goes wide, at least you're kind of plugging away or you're trying to make things happen. But what I was noticing with Gyökeres quite a lot recently, I was impressed with his hold-up play in certain games, but with West Ham, and I noticed against Newcastle and Olympiacos, the ball was kind of getting away from him. It weren't really sticking to him, and he was getting you know what I mean? He was losing. Yeah, he was losing possession quite easily, and defenders nicked the ball off of him quite easily. And sometimes it's his decision making. So when he has got the ball and he's only got sort of 1 or 2 defenders in front of him, and he's got the wide open pitch, he sometimes don't know whether to run direct centrally, or he don't know whether to run with it out right or left. And sometimes he gets caught in 2 minds. And that gives the defender time to make up their mind and dispossess him, So there's a lot of things he's doing that's pretty average, to be honest with you. As I said, I'm not going to get on his case too much, but at the end of the day, I want to see a little bit more. I'm finding him bang average, to be honest with you. He came to the club with a big CV, and I'm not really seeing this kind of big CV, and it's all right. Listen, I'm not calling it a farmers league, and I'm not calling it a poor league. So it's all right scoring goals in Portugal, but when you're coming to the Premiership, you've just got to add a little bit more to your game, and I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. Hopefully, it will come good. But he has got to he has got to start very, very soon, because if Havertz gets fit and he gets thrown on, and we know the relationship between Havertz and Arteta.
Yeah.
And Havertz suits Arteta's system. So he could be looking over his shoulder at this stage. He could be looking over his shoulder if it doesn't work out for him. Because at the moment, I think if Havertz was fully fit, I don't think Gyökeres would be starting.
Gyökeres is holding
that might upset a lot of the Arsenal faithful, and I understand that, because you want it to happen. But because we haven't had a number 9 for so long. So we're really kind of clutching at the, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But if you take your Arsenal hat off and actually look at how he's playing, it's hit and miss for me. It's hit and miss for me.
When do we get concerned, DJB? Because I know obviously it's early in the season. He's adapting. He's doing all of that kind of stuff. Obviously, he has got 3 goals, but I think he ain't scored in like 6 now. And maybe that has an element of not scoring. Because
I think the next run of games, DJ, I think the next run of games are favourable. You know, when you got Sunderland, you know, when you're going to away grounds like Sunderland, newly promoted, hostile environment, they're the sort of games you got to bag, just to sort of silence the crowd and get the fans behind you. So I think the next run of games are favourable up until the North London derby. I think we've got Fulham away, which is a tough one, Palace, Sunderland, and in between that we've got Atleti, and then we've got the North London derby. So I think the next 4 games is key for Gyökeres. I think if he's not scoring, I think if he goes for the next 4 games and doesn't score and doesn't really impress, then I think there's concerns whereby we can think to ourselves, well, you know, have we signed another Francis Jeffers or something like that? You know what I mean? I hope not, but we have seen it in the past, Kenny, haven't we? We have seen strikers come with a big CV, and for some reason or another, it's not that they're a bad player. For some reason or another, the club, the environment, the tactics, the players around them, it just don't suit them. So I'm hoping that's not the case with Gyökeres, but I think the next 4 games will be key.
Can't disagree with that, DJB. I think you're quite sensible and quite rational in your thoughts. Kenny, where are you at with the West Ham game and Gyökeres, or any players you want to highlight or thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, you know, West Ham had a game plan, but unfortunately, they haven't got good play. They haven't got good enough players to game plan it. When they had a better team 2 years ago, and to a certain extent last year, they would have probably really got away with it. I mean, when you've got someone like an outlet like Kudos, which they had last season, there's a reason why they were able to implement their game plan. And then 2 seasons ago, when they beat us 2-0, again they had tigerish players. Paquetá got injured in the warm-ups. He didn't play, but they had Souček, who runs all day for them. They could have done with him in a game on Wednesday just gone. The thing is, I know some Arsenal fans are frustrated that we didn't see it out in terms of see him off and, you know, give him a play at attacking football. But as I said previously in the shows, this is who we are. That's our DNA. Our DNA isn't about playing front full throttle football on the front foot. It's all about getting an early goal, making ourselves difficult to beat, and then when the opposition gets tired, then we go for the kill. That's how we play. You know, we just have to like it and lump it. You know, that's how it was like against Olympiacos, and that's how it was against West Ham. If you can't handle it,
2 identical kind of games there, Kenny.
If you can't handle it, then you can't have it both ways, because it is who we are under Arteta. In terms of like performances, Declan Rice's performances was fantastic because he played where he should have played. You know, it's no good. There was no need for him to sort of play in number 6 position, especially when Zubimendi came on. So as soon as he came on, I think that's when he played his best football. I know people go Timber the man of the match, but I thought Declan played really well in that number 8 position. You know, in other instances, Saka, there was an issue regarding Odegaard, you know, in terms of getting injured. I don't think that in turn opens the door for 2 players. It opens the door for Eze, and it opens the door for Nwaneri. If you're Nwaneri, you'd be slightly frustrated that we bought Eze, especially now that now that the captain's injured for quite a while.
Sorry to cut you, Kenny, but does it really? Because the last 2 times Odegaard got injured, obviously it was like for like when Nwaneri came on, you had Rice and Zubimendi. Now the West Ham game, as you all know, it was Eze, it was Odegaard, it was one of Rice or Zubimendi initially, which we wanted to see, right? But he then he kind of reverted. So it's like, is it really as clear cut?
Yeah, but you think about it. Eze can't play the number, isn't a good, and will never be a good sort of left-sided forward in an Arteta team. So the vacant position for him is probably the number 10. So it's his if he wants it. But we've asked a youngster to sign a 5-year contract. known full well that he's not very good as a right winger, but his position where we think he can play his best football is where Odegaard plays. So it's basically like a shootout for that position. And maybe the lads will be frustrated because obviously if you sign a new contract and you're promised and you think you're going to get games and you're part of the manager's plans, you've got someone who's just come in with a bit of seniority in England International, the main man at Crystal Palace, and a player that every Arsenal fan wanted. So that would carry its frustrations.
Can't forget Marino's an option there as well.
Yeah, but that's only if you're playing against a team that's going to have more possession than you as an attacking team and it's got a better attack than you. Then, of course, you're going to want to go defensive. And Marino's a fantastic option, especially the way we play, where we don't exactly play on the front foot. Marino's a no-brainer for the manager, not for us, but for the manager. But in other issues as well, Saka, he didn't do much, but you can tell that his presence, brings a lot of quality. He didn't have a great game. Eze didn't have a great game either. But
it's funny shooting boots, says he.
Yeah, I'm honest. Yeah, but the situation is I want to sort of clarify, or maybe this chat can give me some clarification about. There seems to be an issue regarding the penalty. I think people seem to forget that, and I'm going to go on it because I disagreed with Lee about it. I disagreed with Dane. Disagreed with quite a lot of people. But then I agreed.
Let's hear it, Kenny, man.
But my brother agreed with me. We seem to think that because we signed Gyökeres, that Gyökeres is a penalty taker. He's our penalty taker. I just want to clarify two things, and this is my opinion. I think if you're a striker, scoring penalties is a cheat code. I'll tell you why.
It's a bonus.
I sound like an old fogey, but I didn't grow up with strikers taking penalties. You did, DJB.
Hey, you told me that, and I find it baffling. Yeah. That's foreign.
I wouldn't lie to you. One of our greatest ever goal scorers, Ian Rush, one of the best British goal scorers, strikers after Jimmy Greaves, never took penalties. Jimmy Greaves, I think he might have took the penalties, but I have no idea. Gary Lineker only started taking penalties at the World Cup in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, he's played for England 6 years before without taking a penalty. Andy Cole never took penalties. Alan Smith, one of our greatest ever strikers, and the man before Ian Wright never took a penalty. He got us what I'd sympathy penalty to get his hat-trick against Man United. But apart from that, he was not a penalty taker. Yet he got one of the golden boot in 89 and 91. I'm just reading it off. But the bigger issue for me is Saka's our penalty taker. People seem to think because Gyökeres took the penalty against Leeds that he's a penalty taker. Well, let's get something right. Saka, if my memory serves me right, was off the field when that penalty was given against Leeds. Unless my memory serves me right. He was off the field.
Arteta did say Gyökeres is the best penalty taker at the club, though.
Yeah, and he actually got injured in that game, which enabled Madueke to have a run in games. If Saka was on the pitch, he would have taken a penalty. So if Saka's on the pitch against West Ham, he should have taken a penalty. So you should have given the penalty to Gyökeres. What for?
But they did give it to Kai. Remember, Kai got this.
Kai hadn't scored. It's not the same thing. Kai hadn't scored, and Kai was getting a roasting from the fans. That's a fact. The fans,
but you got a proven hitter. For what it's worth, Kenny, I'm with you. I didn't.
It was also 2-up, wasn't we? I think when he gave the penalty to Kai.
Exactly. But every
that's
podcast
why I agree with Kenny
season,
and obviously
took it in turns to give Kai a kicking. I've got the tapes. If you think I'm lying, I've got the tapes. I've got the transcripts. I can play them to you right now if you want. So when I say that's a sympathy penalty, it's deserved. Gyökeres shouldn't be getting that penalty. For a start, he scored 3 goals this season. And by the way, there's someone in the chat that thought that DJB's criticism of Gyökeres was unfair on the basis that he scored the same amount of goals as Ekitike. So when you're saying you use that goal to give him a bit of confidence, well, you can't have it both ways. If he's had a good season so far, he hasn't. So if you're giving this penalty, you're agreeing with me and DJB by saying he hasn't had a good season. So make your minds up. I mean, I'm all for a sympathy, the sort of thing your wife gives you if you do the shopping. If you know what I mean, I'm all for that. But come on, let's be honest. Let's be honest here.
I weren't ripping into your careers. It was constructive criticism.
No, it is constructive, and it's deserved constructive criticism because let's not forget the manager's first choice was Šeško, and when you see Šeško's technique as compared to Gyökeres's, you can see the point. Gyökeres, if he's not getting a service, then then what will happen is that he'll find it very difficult to do something, have the je ne sais quoi, what I call.
But don't that apply to half the strikers we're linked with? I get your point.
It doesn't apply to Harry Kane.
Yeah, Isaac and I get that. Isaac, Harry Kane, he had to make something out of nothing.
Okay, but the way Arsenal fans are talking, but the way Arsenal fans are talking about this guy when he was originally for sale, when he was originally we're going through like the acquisition of him, they were going on like he is a Haaland, like he is a Kane, and I respect that because of his.
He's nothing like Harry Kane.
What I'm trying to say is that the guy played in the Superliga in Portugal, which is no problem with that, and he played for Coventry. I'm just saying, if any Arsenal fan is complaining about him not getting a service and complaining about Mikel Arteta not moving the wheel, well, this is my message to.
Last 3 games that doesn't cut it with me.
But this is my message to the fans of Eze and the fans of Gyökeres. This isn't Crystal Palace, and this isn't Sporting Lisboa. This is Arsenal. This is Mikel's team. We've all been calling for Mikel to change the style of play, but he isn't because he's effective, and it suits the players he's got. So Gyökeres has got a chance to actually bed himself in because he's the only striker. There's no competition for him because Jesus is injured and Havertz is injured. But what I would say is if it doesn't improve, he doesn't score the goals, and he doesn't get in tune the way we play, I don't think any Arsenal fans should complain if he does try to get Havertz in the team. He's got to run a game.
Doing the job, you need to try something else, innit?
Without a shadow of that, and let's not forget, Havertz is part of the squad that everyone Arsenal fan claims is the strongest in the country. He is part of that squad,
and everyone's a starter in their own right. This is what fans do say, so you can't have it both ways.
Well, he's thinking with our fans, and I say it respectfully because the chat are not like that. There are some fans who think that we can only talk about Arsenal if we're praising them, and we have to talk about Arsenal. So, for instance, if someone like Sports Goals talks about the best midfielders in the country at the moment and says it's Tonali, and then you've got someone saying, what about Declan Rice? I think, well, if he did mention Declan Rice and mention Tonali, he surely made his mind up. Why do we have to always include an Arsenal fan in everything?
We bite the bait too much, man. I said this on my stream earlier. I was like, as an Arsenal fan, ignore it. Like, who really cares if Tonali's better than Rice or not?
Quite cringy. It's cringy,
we're
isn't
getting
it?
them engagement, innit?
Yeah, we're just proving to people hate Arsenal that we are.
Our fans are soft, man.
We're soft as butter, aren't we?
Just bite into everything. Like, just bite into everything. I do. Yeah. I kind of agree with why people bite, but just ignore it. We all know we keep the lights on for half of these media platforms. They will just if they don't mention Arsenal and probably United second, they're not paying their bills. So just ignore it. But as a society, let alone football, we haven't learned to ignore these things. This kind of rage bait. So I don't think it's gonna change, man. It ain't gonna change.
Paul Scholes isn't having a go at Declan Rice. Paul Scholes has played the game. A lot of people in Europe think see him as a superior player to Gerrard and Lampard, and these are players like Zidane and Iniesta and Xavi. They rate him. Everyone in Spain rates him. He's one of so.
I don't even think it's a mad shout to say Tonali's better than Rice. I don't agree with it, but I don't think it's mad.
It's Paul Scholes' opinion.
I don't really try and compare who's better. As long as Rice is doing the business for Arsenal, that's all I worry about. I mean, because it's everyone's preference. I mean, I can go through a list of players as long as my arm who's better than most of the Arsenal team, but over the years. But and some of those are Arsenal players in with it. But it's the job they're doing for the team at the time, the system that we're playing at the time. and at times it's not pretty to watch. But I'm now starting to think to myself, well, look, it's not about being pretty now. I just want a trophy
over the line.
You know, I just want to get over the line, and that's all I'm looking at. But as for Gyökeres, I'm not. If you listen to what I said, I'm not ripping into Gyökeres, and I have been saying I'm hoping that he will come good, and I'm sure he will. But any football fan, whether you're an Arsenal fan or whether you're not Arsenal fan, and you look at it from just a football point of view, if you've played football at whatever level, I'm just a little bit disappointed with his all-round performance. And he scored 3 goals, but one of them was from the penalty spot. So he scored 2 goals in open play. Right? So 2 goals in open play. That's ignore the penalty. 2 goals in open play. And if you look at all his other attributes, I don't think he's had any assists. He's not had any assists.
This record at Sporting was dead. I tried to tell people, forget all of that. Like,
he's not assisted. He's not assisted. Shots on target is very, very low. Shots all round is very, very low. So his input as a striker that we all wanted at the moment, whether you like it or not, whether you think I'm being harsh or not, if you just look on paper at the stats of Gyökeres, he's not producing. Now, you can't be in the mindset that just because you're an Arsenal fan and just because we're Arsenal fans, we've got to say everything positive about every single player.
And it's all sunshine and
sometimes
rainbows.
when you go on platforms, you have to look at it from a football point of view and take your Arsenal hat off. And I'm sorry,
be logical.
He's not doing enough for me. And I'll stick by that. When he does, I'll praise him. If he goes and bags 5-6 goals in the next 4 games, and his performances warrant it, I will praise him. But getting back to the penalty, I'm bang on with Kenny. I'm absolutely bang on with Kenny. I don't see why you should have to hand over the penalty just because the guy's having a tough time and everyone wants to get him on the score.
Do you think he should have made a scene? Do you think he should have taken the pen, like taken it off?
No.
Listen,
what you got to remember from, right? The other thing that you're missing as well is that Saka's come from Howe End. He's born and bred an Arsenal player. He's in his 200th appearance. He's
evidently a lot more confident than Gyökeres, and it's 1-0 to us. He
also missed a vital penalty against West Ham.
I was hoping you wasn't going to mention that, but he did
at the London Stadium. So he wanted to get back. He wanted to put that to bed by scoring.
And let's have it right. Saka wants his own goals for the tally sheet as well come the end of the year.
Any player that's on his 200th appearance that's bred and born, that's been brought up through the academy, that's come through the academy and everything else, and you're captain at the time, you're stepping up to take that penalty. You're not giving that away. So I can fully understand where Saka was coming from. And you don't give a player a penalty just because you want to, just because everyone wants to feel better. Because
the team comes first, bro.
Because Gyökeres is having a bad time, give him the penalty, let him score, and then everyone can start talking brilliant things about Gyökeres. No, Saka took the penalty. He was right to take the penalty. If Gyökeres wants people to stand up and go, "Whoa, yeah, we've bought something special here," then he shouldn't be relying on penalties. Gyökeres, go and do it in open play, like you did against Leeds. You know, we want to see more. We want to see more of that. We want to see more of that type of thing. But I'm a little bit confused how we're playing him. And I said this. I think I might have said it on your show a couple of weeks back, DG. I'm a little bit sure of what Gyökeres' role actually is. Is he a target man? Is he a link-up player? Is he there just to kind of bully defenders? Or is he going to be in the box as an out-and-out goal scorer?
Because this is what we knew, DJB, though, man. We knew that any striker we signed you, you're going to have to... I'm not even criticising Arteta. It's just a fact. You're going to have to conform to what Arteta wants. It's going to sound mad. And I know, obviously, people got common sense. But it feels like, to me, not just this year, but for years, goals are the least important thing that we want from our number 9 because we've seen who's led it. That's what I was about to say, yeah. It's almost a bit weird because from what you can read and see about Gyökeres prior to this club, everybody kind of had him down as, he bags goals for fun, general players kind of ugly. I think it's kind of the complete opposite in that. For me, I see you working the channels, you're dropping deep, you're occupying centre halves, but you're never in the box. Now, on one hand, you need to get yourself in the box. You need to make a meal of things. But there's also times where I think he's involved in the build-up play. It's just, you're not Superman. You can't kind of get there. That's why I said, like you were saying, how you said on the stream earlier, that's what I was saying a few weeks ago. I think he's adapted to the system. I don't necessarily know we've adapted to him. Now, granted, though, in these 3 games we've played, I don't think that kind of works anymore. I don't think it flies.
We can't at Arsenal. The situation
is... Surely we can tailor it. Because it ties into this question on the screen.
Necessarily, because you think about it, against Olympiacos, we played the same system, but what was happening is that
his decision making.
Odegaard put him in some fantastic situations, got the ball early, put him through a ball for him to run on and score. He had a shot, hit the goalkeeper, made a save, went on the post, Martin Ødegaard, put it in, and then there was another instance where he's put through. It's not just so much his lack of service, but the fact is that I made a point last season where he sometimes in our league you got to shoot the ball early, you got to hit the ball early. Sometimes you don't get the time. Like for instance, Newcastle, instead of shooting early, he cuts in. Against Olympiacos, there was one time he got the ball out of his feet. Now you shoot, but he took another bit of time, and that's when he got tackled. And so the chances are for him, and players will make chances. The situation is that with Gyökeres, he is what he is on the tin. A lot of people think that that we got this like super striker, and that all we got to do is he's going to be the missing link. Not necessarily. He would have been a great way to be that naive, may not be up to him. The guy who will help you win the league. It'll be a team game, and Saka be let's not forget Saka's a goal scorer as well.
Yeah. I mean, I just think with Gyökeres, the goals will come. I just think he's got to find out a way. Sometimes you can try too hard, can't you? I mean, listen, I'm not knocking his work rate. I mean, he works. He runs into the channel. He's always trying to be available. He closes down defenders. His work rate is absolutely. Perhaps he's trying too much. Perhaps he should be a little bit more selfish and go like, "Well, look, I'm getting."
I think he's too nice. If I'm honest,
I think he should be being a bit more selfish and thinking to himself, "No, I'm here to score goals. I'm going to be in the box," and perhaps get the ball early, go and demand it off the midfield players, and take it off the midfield players. And turn and run at defenders, because that's what I'd like to see sometimes. Because there's opportunity. There's sometimes when there's defenders sort of camped at the back, along the back, and Rice or Zubamendi's got the ball, and Gyökeres is kind of trying to run beyond the defender, looking for that through ball, or looking for the long ball. Sometimes I think to myself, no, go short and get the ball off them. Go short and get the ball off them, turn and then you run at them or make something happen. So I do feel a bit sorry for him in a way, because it's really hard with Gyökeres, because he's not playing awful. It's just that he needs. I'm just not seeing. I'm just not seeing what I was hoping to see. If you know what I mean.
The thing is, you say you're not seeing. You're saying you're not seeing what you're hoping to see. The fact is that what you're seeing is his actual footballing ability and his striking ability. Because he didn't play any different.
Come on, Kenny, man, that's a bit disingenuous.
I hear you,
but come on, man. The Sesko fanboy's coming out in you now, man.
It's not about Sesko. Technically, he's a mess. But that's not a problem.
Technically,
he's not a mess. It's just not pretty.
He is a mess.
Not pretty. He's not good.
It's horrible to watch to a degree. But
I saw Eddie Boyle much more technically gifted.
100%. Gyökeres ain't the most technical striker I've ever seen.
This is not.
But there's havoc revision even being done in our fan base, which I find mad.
But DG, this isn't the Sesko appreciation show.
I'm just messing with you, Kenny.
But look at the way he's hold up play on Saturday at Old Trafford, and now you've got players into the game. That is what I call technically a player that knows his job. Obviously, he's never going to be. He hasn't got a record of a Gyökeres who can score goals. Feed the goat and he will score. That kind of striker.
That's my mentality with Gyökeres, bro. Like, you're just giving me 5 out of 10 link up play.
This guy was marked out the game by Arsenal. I mean, come on.
What Šeško?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, what Šeško did on
You're right.
At Old Trafford. That's what we needed. We need Victor to be able to do, but he can't do it. So he got to get him
To be
to
fair,
run.
he did do it against Newcastle. To be fair,
yeah, and he
I
did
just
do
think
it.
he's the ugly footballer. Just give him double point in the back of the net, and yeah.
The thing at Arsenal, right, is that the way we play is in their DNA where we're going to make ourselves difficult. But first and foremost, we can't be broken down. Of course, we've got the players. We want to be on the front foot. But first and foremost, the players that are integral to the low block is Timber. Timber is one of the reasons why we're difficult to beat defensively and why we've got a strong defence. He's the one, for me, he's the sole reason. Then you've got a goalkeeper behind who just basically saves us 15 points a season. That's our structure. And then there's a situation where we will create chances. But you've got to remember one thing. How we play, it's Saka's team. Doesn't matter whether you're Chris or Eze here, it's Saka's team. So most of our players are going to go down the right and chances will be created. But obviously, they're going to be at a premium. It's not going to be like as loose Bowen and commentary where, boom, look up, boom, he's made a run. Great,
I do think we could look to do that a bit quicker, though. Like, we're not going to do that consistently, but I think we can do that.
Primarily, our best form of attack over the last few years is playing down Saka's side. And I don't see it changing for you.
The only thing I'm worried about, defensively, we're solid. We've got a goalkeeper that's up there with the best. We've got a brilliant right back. We've got 2 centre halves, and we've got a left back, midfield, winger, striker,
hybrid,
whatever you want to call him. Whatever you want to call him. Loose cannon. But the thing is, right, my biggest worry is defensively we're solid, but how long can we rely on being defensive solid if you're not scoring at the other end enough? Because if the goals are not coming from Gyökeres and they're only coming from Saka, then going forward long term, that could become a bit of a problem. We do need to start scoring goals from elsewhere.
And that's why I mentioned Newcastle, DJB, for a couple of reasons.
Exactly.
Because I think we've been very critical on Arteta, but to a degree, these last 3 games, the players are not putting the ball in the back of the net. Saka's had chances. Trossard had a chance. Gyökeres has had chances.
Exactly.
I feel the players need to up it in that regard.
And like free balling, I mean, it's a good comment. I mean, he occupies defenders to free it up for other wingers. Well, there's no good freeing up other wingers if the other wingers are not scoring. You know?
And we knew that's the job of being this.
And getting back to Gyökeres, DG, sorry to cut you off. Getting back to Gyökeres. We bought a number 9 to score in the big games. We bought a striker to score against the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, the Newcastle at St James's Park. That's what we was missing for years and years and years. We were going up to St James's Park and all places like that, thinking, if only we'd had a striker. Scoring against Leeds and your Burnleys at home, no disrespect to them, is not the issue. We signed a bagsman to go and score in big games. And
to be fair, though, Liverpool, United, City, we didn't give him nothing. And he I hear you, though, generally.
Defensively going forward, we're solid. Midfield, we're fairly solid, right? But the problem is, how long, and as you rightly said, DG, I mean, if you've got a concern, you can only go so far defensively. You've still got to score goals. Because
that's the game we love, isn't it? Keep them out of your net, put them in the back of the opponents. It's a simple game, really.
Because teams will find a way. Teams will find a way to stop you from scoring, and then you get the draws and everything else coming back. And it is a little bit of a problem.
Let me ask you this as well, like, do you not feel Arteta's changed? Like, do you think he's put the handbrake down? Because I must admit, I wouldn't say it's exciting, but I keep saying Newcastle. I was pleasantly surprised by Newcastle. Obviously, Olympiacos we didn't bag, but I think it kind of piggybacked off the previous game where we're not putting the ball in the back of the net. West Ham, it probably should have been at least 3-0 to us, really, between Eze and Cole. But like, do you think he's found that balance of kind of what we're alluding to and what we've been saying? Like, we're great defensively. You got Rice in midfield, give or take, or Zubamendi. Now let's do attack is the best form of defense type of thing. Where are you at with that?
You know what I think is that he's got the options. Last year we were crying out for it, but I think this season there's no doubt in my opinion. No doubt he's got the options. If the options are there, the players are there. So he can. You look at his starting lineup. The starting lineup involved Gyökeres. Sorry, starting up in the midfield was Eze, Odegaard, and Declan Rice.
We've been crying for that. Us three were saying, "Oh, Eze's going to drop to the bench. He's going to persist with Odegaard." Like, obviously, we got robbed of it because Odegaard got injured.
How he started was for us to try and get in the front foot. Unfortunately, Odegaard got injured, but he brought on Zubimendi, and that enabled Declan Rice to push up the field and play at number 8. Well, I feel he plays his best football. Let's not forget how our approach. I expected a very negative selection at St James's Park, but Eze got in the team, and Eze showed what he can do in that first half. So I suppose if we were to sit down with Mikel Arteta, the first thing he'll say to me, he said, "Look, I haven't had the players in the last couple of years. I've had to play a certain way because my bench has been strong. Now I've got a good bench. Now Berta's given me better players. I've got a stronger bench. I've got better options now. Now I've got better options. I can, if I choose to, play that team. For instance, the team that I play against Liverpool won't be the same team that I'm going to play against Brighton or Burnley away, because I know that in order to win the league, obviously you need a great defence, but also you need to play attacking football and you need to get our goal difference up, because
we need to be clinical as well.
We think it's going to be, goal difference will come into it. So he has got those kind of options. And we've seen, since Newcastle, he has selected teams to play selected teams. However, and this is where it becomes interesting, the personnel, the intent is there, but after we get our goal, the natural instincts is to make ourselves compact and difficult to beat. For instance, the reason why Benjamin White is on the bench and Timber's on the pitch is because one of the things that have killed us in the last couple of years, not last season, but maybe parts of 23-24 and definitely 22-23, overload. Benjamin White, good going forward. You see.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Which one of you lot said he's better than Timber going forward? I'm sorry.
No, it's not that. I said good going forward. Defensively, quick feet, play with quick feet, a bit of pace. Come on. We get overloaded.
No, but even in the final third, Timber's been looking better. Like, I'm not going to give this up.
I've got to admit, he has improved. He has improved.
What I'm trying to say is that despite the fact you have these options, despite the fact you attack the team, the same basis is the work rate won't change, can't change, and the way we are off the ball won't change. But the names will change, and he's got the options. Let's not forget Odegaard's injured now, so we're
going to get onto him.
You're probably going to see Eze because of seniority over Wanyeri. So Mikel's now got a situation where if you've got particular preferences for personnel, well, he can't disappoint because he's now got the players. He's got no excuses.
You look at our run of games, I think people need to be braced. There's going to be different people occupying the Odegaard role. It's not always going to be Eze.
Before we go to DJB, I'm going to give you some facts.
Go ahead.
If you think that we're going to, with our run of games, we're going to win every game up until the 27th, it's not going to happen. Not because we're a bad team. Not because we're a bad team. It's because
it's not feasible, man.
Physically, it's just impossible.
It's not feasible.
We are going to drop points. There's too many good teams we're going to be playing, and too many intense games where it's inevitable we'll drop points. We just have to make sure our record's better than Liverpool's till then.
You're right, because I can't remember if it was, for the life of me remember if it was after Newcastle or after West Ham. But the manager said basically what you said there, Kenny, is that at some point in the game, like we started well, we was good in that. And then at some point in the game, you could see the effects of that. We had a game a few days before. So it is, I don't want it to happen because we'll get onto it, but we're top of the league. But we're going to have to box smart, man. Fulham on paper scares a lot of Arsenal fans. Fair enough. Newcastle and West Ham people would have said that, and we was all right. But you know what? Fulham away, Crystal Palace, Atletico Madrid. Like, I don't need to tell you how difficult every game is, but we're going to have to play it by ear. Completely off topic, yeah, but both of you guys are actually at the ground, and they're always at the ground, people. And I think this comment, you two are the best place here because I weren't there to answer this. I don't know if any of you were at West Ham. Obviously, he's referring to the Emirates. But what did you think about the atmosphere? A lot of people complaining, but I think it's just expectation. Where have you lot been? Not just that as well. I'll throw in where you lot at with the atmosphere in general at the Emirates. Go on.
It's I think with the West Ham, the way they set up, it was never going to be an end-to-end game where had you on the end of the seat. As I said, I think we were just going through the motions a little bit. It ended up like a training session. So the crowd was a little bit flat, to say the least. And there was a little bit of frustration setting in as well because, again, the goals weren't coming. And until Rice scored, it gave us a little bit of a lift. But up until then, it's always going to be like that at the Emirates now because the expectations is so intense and the pressure is so intense, you can actually feel it in the crowd. Because the fans know that every game is important, that we get 3 points because we desperately want silverware. That kind of ripples through the crowd. So if it goes 20 minutes into the game, 25 minutes into the game, and we're not scoring and we don't look like scoring, and it's all a little bit kind of slow and lethargic, it tends to kind of, I don't know how Kenny feels, but you tend to kind of think, come on, and it starts going a little bit nervy. And I think that's a reflection on the crowd. Obviously, when you get 2 or 3 up, then the crowd's up for it. But
happy as Larry, yeah.
Yeah, I think because there's so much pressure now on every game, especially at the Emirates. I think we've got to try and make the Emirates a fortress, and I think a lot of the fans know that.
Has that always been the case, DJB? Because I don't remember Highbury being that rocking as well.
Yeah, I mean, it has always been a case of. It has always been the case, but I think this season more so. I think this season more so now because, we're not naive to think that Arteta, if he doesn't win anything with all the kind of support he's had with players and signings, I don't think we're that naive to think that if he doesn't win anything, it could be his last season at the club. So I think there's a lot of kind of the expectations have gone up another level, if you like, and I think that reflects in the team. I think that reflects in the fans. You're not as relaxed any. You know what I mean? And I think over the seasons we've seen it. The expectations have been there, and we've not quite done it, or we've failed on certain games, and we've nearly got there, and we've just not done it for some reason or another. I still think there's a lot of that in with the crowd as well. So you're going to get flat moments at the Emirates.
I don't think
you're going to get it. You're going to get the crowd kind of anxious and a bit silent and a bit flat on in certain moments because of the expectations. It's so high. But yeah, and not only that, you get a mixture of fans nowadays. It's just a mixture of fans nowadays. It is starting to change a little bit over there in certain areas of the ground. So, it is what it is. But I think when you play the big games, I think you'll have
naturally everyone's up for
crowd
it
when you're playing Liverpool at home, Spurs at home, and everything else. Because
all of them at home last year decent, mainly probably because Saka's coming.
Yeah, I think certain games it'll get lifting again and it'll buzz again. But I just think there's an edge of nervousness this season more than previous seasons. It's gone up a notch.
I wouldn't even say nerves. I think it is nerves, but I would say positive frustration. We got the squad, we got it all the time.
Yeah,
let's just fucking get over the line now, isn't it? I think that's where we're at now.
And it does reflect in the crowd. I mean, I don't know what Kenny thinks, but I just think it's down to there's a lot on every single game now, more than previous. And I think
so you're basically of the belief, DJB, in that whatever the players kind of show you on the pitch, that's what the fans will reciprocate, but quote unquote. Fair.
Look, you got to remember one thing, right? Everyone just harks back to Highbury. There were times when Highbury wasn't exactly the most
That's why I said that. I remember Highbury weren't that.
They didn't call it a library for a reason.
Yeah, the
for
Highbury
reason.
Library.
It could be a real library. I think with the Emirates, the situation is is that we got to turn it into a fortress. You know, we've been trying to do that under Mikel Arteta. But this season, we've definitely got to turn it into a fortress, a place where
he removed the tunnel as well.
Players look at the opposition and they come to Emirates think we'd be lucky to get a cup of tea. You know, that sort of situation you had in the 80s in Liverpool. You were lucky to get. They used to say oranges, and in same, you know, at Collins and at Old Trafford, you thought, nah, I'm not willing today. The same at Etihad, we need to have that as well at Arsenal. But another thing as well, it's the away fans are part of it as well. If you let's not forget, you know, we've had some really good European games where the away fans have made it. You know, they
9 times out of 10 away fans are louder than the Emirates. Like, let's be honest.
That hits back. Not the Man City game. The atmosphere was really good because it's Man City and because we've beaten them turned them over a couple of times. North London Derby last season was an absolute disgrace. Yeah. So the atmosphere is shocking.
Oh, expand on that, you two, for us then, because that's surprising me.
It was shocking. We were going through kind of a bad patch. We were coming off the Man United defeat on penalties, and they were coming off the defeat against Newcastle, and then we had Aston Villa where we were 2-0 up and we dropped points, and you go to North London Derby 3 days later, it was just dead. And then you had Spurs fans who knew they had a shit team, and the manager was just, I don't know what he was doing, but either way,
they're just on it. Fuck it, let's have a day out.
And you know another thing as well. Call me churlish, and this is probably the most left field thing I've ever seen. When I watched Arsenal versus Spurs, Spurs are wearing the home colours, and we're wearing our home colours, home and away. I went to North London Derby, and because of some BS about colour clash, we had to wear black at their ground, and then when they came to our ground, they were wearing like sky blue. It didn't feel like a derby. I think that contributed to it. But last year, the atmosphere at North London Derby was crap. And then you had Chelsea last season. Jesus Christ. Do you know how crap that game was? How bad it was?
It was flat as well, wasn't it?
Teams were so bad. And that didn't feel like a Chelsea-Arsenal game. So this season, if we are going to go for this league, then again, it's the fans have to be up for it. They got.
Do you think we got them type of fans though? Like, because it just feels like a lot of Arsenal fans like a show. They want to be in a theatre.
The problem is, right, is that I don't know. You know what it is? Maybe in our day there wasn't
like away from home. It's a madness at the Emirates.
You know what it is with the Emirates, right? Is that whether you like it or not. Maybe it's because we're a London team or a Southern team. Maybe it's not in us to have passion in us. But do you look at the Emirates? It is a soulless bowl. But the problem is, and I say it, the most passionate fans are actually the tourists and the guys who don't come that are the red members because they don't get the opportunity like me.
Yeah, because you're not going to be there. Can you spend all that money? You might as well.
So you blame them for the atmosphere, but actually. They're the ones who are excited. They're the ones who go who are getting emotional. They're the ones who are cheering.
And enough of the season ticket holders like yourselves, you're not together in the stadium. So it's just,
we blame them. We blame them for the poor atmosphere when actually, because they appreciate it and they don't take it for granted, it's them who bring the atmosphere. Maybe we should learn from them. Because at the end of the day, I think it's the most beautiful thing ever when I see. All right, I don't particularly like it when they're taking photos, but when I see a guy getting emotional, sweating and crying because he's finally come to his Arsenal game, I think, whoa.
Yeah.
I think you're moving a bit mad, but then I'd understand it, innit? Because I don't know what you went through to get here, innit?
Good.
Yeah, but you exactly. It means so much to them. So maybe we should take something from them.
And that's why we got to keep Arteta. He's got fans moving to tears to see this.
No, I'm not doing that nonsense. What I'm trying to say is that maybe we should be. Maybe when we go to games, we should treat it like it's a rarity, it's a novelty, and then maybe
but then it's like what DJB saying, Kenny, and that like I hear you. You're not wrong, but it's like we're going. Well, you lot are going to games, and you're like, "Oh, Liverpool are playing at 5:30. We're playing at 3. If we win X, Y, Z." So it's like, can that really happen?
That's the beauty of it, though. We had that in the 80s. When we were going for titles with Liverpool, we were looking at. Obviously, all the games were played at 3 o'clock. Most of them, or if there was a game, it was played live the next day. We were passionate, but the reason why we were passionate because in the 80s and early 90s, we didn't have wall-to-wall football. Now, we've got wall-to-wall football. We take it for granted. We take it for granted, and that's probably why we don't have an atmosphere that we should have, because we think it's a sure thing.
You know what? And you two are the best people to ask on this as well, because we've been talking about the atmosphere. This sets it up perfectly. Then, obviously, I know we've said we're going to touch on it. Arsenal consider Wembley to enable work on the stadium. There's talk of going to Wembley, but the bigger question is obviously around expansion and improving our stadium. Where you lot at with it as two season ticket holders?
You've got to keep up with the times. You've got to keep up with the times. When this was built 20 years ago, it was one of the best stadiums around at the time. But 20 years on, things have moved on. Everton's built a brilliant stadium. Spurs have got a fantastic stadium. And the thing is, you've got to keep moving supply and demand.
Facts.
You can't stand still. You can't build a stadium 20 years ago and expect to have it 40 years later and not touch it. Look at Old Trafford. Do you know what I mean? They've got nice little waterfalls in there.
Thank the Lord we're not Chelsea as well.
And Chelsea, you got to move with the times. You got to move ahead of yourself. I'm all for expanding the stadium, as long as the tickets go to the real fans and not corporates.
That ain't happening.
And companies and CEOs and all of this, because
that's what's happening.
For me, I'm still old school. I'm still a fan. And this is one of the biggest issues that I have with all-seater stadiums. I would love standing to come back. I'd love it. I would love standing areas in stadiums to come back, where you're actually standing on the terraces like a proper fan. As I said, I'm okay for keeping up with the times, and if it means getting more people off the season ticket waiting list, like your real fans that have been on
even
it for years, then I'm all for it. However, if it's going to be upgraded and you're going to have more club members and more boxes and everything else, and the real fan doesn't get a chance, I will begrudge the football team for sending me to Wembley and getting home at 1-2 o'clock in the morning on a European night, and then having to go to work the next day. I will feel very, very annoyed about it. Also, how is it going to affect the team playing at Wembley?
Good point.
Because this is why I'm saying this is
you're not old enough to properly remember.
I mean, I don't know when this is going to go ahead. Is it 27, 28?
Yeah, it's got to be. It can't be any time.
Allegedly 27, 28. Right. So let's say
let's assume that.
So if we don't win the title now in 2026, and then we move to Wembley, we could then it could affect how we play, because the players might not feel at home. The crowd won't the atmosphere will be completely different. It'll be like playing away every week.
Exactly.
So if we don't
pick up far away from the pitch at Wembley as well. If I'm
exactly.
honest.
So if we don't pick up this Premiership soon, we're not guaranteed that if we move to Wembley, we're going to win the league. So that's more pressure on. That's more, the pressure's on. But listen, I'm all for keeping up with the times. I said this a couple of weeks back. The Emirates need a refurb anyway, regardless of the expansion. The Emirates needs a refurb anyway. It needs a lick of paint in certain areas. The concourse areas need sorting out, because you can't 100%. Go out at half time and get a drink, a cup of tea, coffee, beer, whatever you want, because you have to leave the game 4 minutes, 5 minutes towards the end of the first half to get down to queue up. Then you're not getting back in your seat
Speed up the bag checks as well, depending on the time you're there as well.
The 2-3 minutes you're missing. So you're missing around about 7-8 minutes if you're going down at half time for a refreshment. By the time you go down there, time you get back, you're missing on average about 7-8 minutes of the game. You know, you add that up through the season, you're missing like a whole game of football. So that needs to be improved. That needs to be improved. The seats need to be upgraded and taken out and upgraded and everything else, you know. So there's a lot. So the ground needs improvements anyway. It's 20 years old, you know. It's got to be refurbished. But yeah, no, listen, I'm all for the upgrading of it. Providing that the tickets and the season tickets and the real Arsenal fans and the everyday working fan gets first crack of the whip with it. Because if you're going to upgrade that stadium and it's only going to bring in, you know, you're only going to get half or a quarter of the real Arsenal fans getting in, and the rest is corporates and
that's
business.
what's going to be highest bidder, whoever's got the most money.
Yeah, and this is where it goes wrong for me. This is where it goes wrong for me. The only other thing I've got to say, if you're putting more fans in that stadium, you need better exits and you need better station access, because Highbury Islington at the moment is an absolute nightmare as it is now. You put more fans in that stadium, Highbury Islington's going to be even worse. We're going to be queuing up all the way down Holloway Road.
And big up to everyone who actually go, when they leave the game, they actually go to Arsenal.
You know, I mean, I always stay behind.
For me.
Yeah, I mean, I always stay behind there anyway. To let
you're better off doing that.
Yeah, I'll go and have a drink, or I'll walk round to one of the statues and do a little interview with Dan's and all of that. And meet up with Kenny and whatever. And so the crowd's always sort of filtered down.
Kenny met me at the last game.
But I'm not being funny. It's not when you refurbish something, it's not the inside or the actual stadium that you have to also look at. You have to look at the transportation in and from the ground. You know, you have to look at that. I
overlooked that, to be fair. You're right.
And another thing that's not really been mentioned when I've listened to streams about this, and I'll go into a little bit more on that, but is it going to affect the existing cost at the moment? Because this is going to cost money. And at the moment, me and Kenny are paying XYZ for our season tickets. Is by refurbishing the stadium that's going to cost money going to bump up our season ticket prices even more?
100%. Fans are consumers. I hate to call them consumers, but they're going to absorb the cost.
So it's all right. It's all right upgrading. It's all right upgrading. But we're already paying extortionate prices, one of the highest in Europe and in the Premiership for our season ticket. If you're going to bump our season ticket up even more to pay for this refurbishment, for true fans not to get in, for it to go to CEOs and corporates, I'm going to be a bit peeved off that my season ticket's gone up to pay for this refurbishment, and I'm looking across and there's fans there that don't even support Arsenal just because they're a business they've got in the stadium. I won't be too happy.
That's what's going to happen, man.
And the fact that it's going to cost me more money to get to Wembley from where I am. I'm going to get midweek games. I'm going to be getting home later. It's going to be like an away day. Every
and you can go to all of them games, and if we get to a final, you're not even guaranteed to get a ticket.
Listen,
like, I feel football fans in general are done so dirty.
DG, the problem is, right, whether you like it or not, if we play at Wembley, we're not playing at home. Every game is going to be an away game, whether you like it or not. The fact that we've got more Arsenal fans in than away fans is immaterial. That will not feel like home. You ask the West Ham fans, the London Stadium's never felt like home since they moved out of Upton Park.
Got nothing on Upton Park. Another ground. You're too far away from
and that's been their problem. That's probably been half of their problem. And I'm telling you now, if we move to Wembley and we don't win the title within the next year or 2 years, moving to Wembley, we ain't going to win it, because that's going to be like an away day. Every single home game is going to feel like an away day. But listen, I'm okay with it, providing they sort out the station problem after the game. The real fans, the everyday fan, gets first dibs on the tickets, and they don't increase the existing fans' season ticket too high. That's my only
I wish I was
issue.
wrong, but I think they're going to do all the opposite. DJ,
Yeah, well, if they do, just refurbish the stadium and leave it be.
I hear that. Can't disagree with that. Kenny, where are you at with this?
Well, see, I've got sort of slightly other issues regarding where we move to or not. Well, first and foremost, let's talk about the inevitability. Those extra 10,000 tickets, a high percentage of them are going to be corporates. Corporates pay the money because if you have the corporates,
He's king.
you know,
unfortunately,
they'll bring in more revenue. They'll spend more money in terms of like the program, beers, food, everything, and most importantly as well, some of these corporates are sponsors of the club, or what will they do because of their connection with the club? They'll bring in more sponsors, especially match day sponsors, more money in. So the club are not going to bite the hand that feeds them. Obviously, you've got to quench the thirst of the people on the waiting list as well, and obviously you've got to. And if there's any tickets available, which I doubt, then you're going to want to get local Islingtonians in, locals in. So that's going to quench the thirst. When we moved from Highbury to the Emirates, they froze our season tickets for 3 years. So last game in the 2005-2006 season, our season tickets were frozen. The next season, it was frozen. And then it was then I think the season after that was frozen, and then we paid an increase. So the club are more than capable of freezing their season tickets. They've done it before, and if we push hard, they'll do it again. So, but one thing I will say is that if we are getting upper tier tickets, the player you have to charge platinum tickets, because if you're getting charged DJB 1,300 and something for your ticket in the high, because you're in the upper tier, then it's going to be the same prices for the new guys who come in. Because it's only fair. Because you're not going to have people paying less than you when you've paid for the upper tier.
No.
So that's going to be the situation. So
that's where the club win, because they know you're not going to get rid of your season tickets. So they can kind of ask what they want, really, isn't it?
So the new guys will be paying something northwards of 1,300, whether they like it or not. Tough, and they'll get the same privileges as everyone else. Another thing as well, whether you like it or not, it will affect our transfer budget. You can't have pizza without Paul. If you want us to stay the way we are, then be prepared. The transfer budget will be affected, because logically it's going to be us paying for the expansion. After all, it's our club, it's our money. We should pay for it ourselves. Expect any manager, regardless of whether Mikel's here or not, or whether it's someone else, he's going to have a reduced transfer budget. You're going to have to just take it on the chin and suck it up. Now,
got out of that paying off the stadium stuff, man.
Let's get to where we should play. The only people I care about is the fans, my fellow fan. I don't care about prestige, and I don't want Arsenal to put any more money in the FA's pocket. I've had enough of the FA. We should be having semi-finals at the new grounds like the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the London Stadium, Old Trafford, instead of we have it at Wembley. The same Wembley that had Oasis living there, then Coldplay, then the weekend next year. The Wembley have made enough money. We are not putting any money in Wembley's hands. I do not want us to move to Wembley on that basis, because I don't want the FA to get any more our money. Two, most importantly thing as well, if you've been to Wembley, you will know that when you there's only one station logistically you could go to, which is Wembley Park. So if you're going to Wembley Park, the police, rightly so, are going to say, right, they're going to let every 100 person go up the stairs. You've got bloody 70,000 people. So it could take you about an hour and a half to get out the bloody place.
Oh, mate, it's
So
going to be a nightmare, Kenny.
Logistically, I'm saying no on that basis because I'm thinking of my fellow fan.
Yeah.
I suggest that we go to London Stadium. Yes, we don't like it. Yes, it's not the atmosphere, but all I care
agree.
about,
Agree.
is your safety. I care about the logistics of fans.
Not only that, Kenny. Sorry to butt in.
Yeah.
We think Highbury Islington is a nightmare. Have you tried? Have you seen Wembley Station?
Exactly. Wembley
after
Park.
the game?
Wembley Park is disgrace. So I say to my fellow Arsenal fan, it's about
coming
your
on from
safety
Wembley is horrible, man.
and your logistics. You and I know that that if you're from North London and you're from the Islington area, all you've got to do is get your fat asses, get on the North London line, get on Highbury and Islington. You go Highbury and Islington. I believe the next stop is Dalston. And then after that, you've got Dalston Kingsland. Then after Dalston Kingsland, you've got Highbury Central.
I love it, Kenny. I'm only 20 minutes away.
You get Hackney Wick, and then you're at Stratford. And then you go your merry way. And the trains come every 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So that should be that logistically, that's fine. I care about your safety. I don't want you going to Wembley where you're going to be like, oh, and then you won't be able to get home. I'm sorry.
Wembley coming home is horrible, man.
So
it's good when you win a cup, but yeah.
I think the club being lazy.
Yeah. No, it's cheap. And the reason why, Kenny, is just because Spurs went there, they've automatically thought the next in line is Arsenal going there. But what you got to realise is,
you're not old enough to remember when we were at Wembley for a year or something.
I'll give you an example. Midweek games, if it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, let's say we're playing midweek game, European night, 8 o'clock kickoff. By the time you're getting out of that ground, by the time you're walking down to Wembley Park, queuing up at Wembley Park, for me to come all the way home from Wembley, I'm not getting home till 1 o'clock in the morning and gone.
And you still got to do what you're doing with your day, your work, your
and
family
you still got to do what you're doing during the day. Exactly. It's just not right. So I'm in the situation now where I'm not going to go. I'm going to be honest with you, and it breaks my heart to say it because I always love going to Arsenal. But if we're playing like carry a bag or whatever in the Champions League at Wembley on a Wembley night, or we've got one of the low-ranked teams in the Europe, I'm not going to go. I'm going to put the ticket on the exchange because it's going to be too much of a.
If you're thinking that, what's all the other houses
Exactly. I'm not going to do it. I mean, if we're playing Burnley midweek, I'm not going to go all the way to Wembley. Do you know what I mean? No disrespect to, but this is what I'm saying. So what you're going to have, you will have a situation where there will be empty seats and there will be the ground. And Wembley, when it's got empty seats, is not very good. The atmosphere is not very, very good at all. So you will get that situation where a lot of Arsenal fans will go, well, I'm not making the journey because it's going to take me 2 hours to get home. I've got to go to work the next morning and it ain't going to happen. So I'm with Kenny. You've got to think of a ground that's closest to Arsenal where the trains and the transport is easy for all the Arsenal fans. And I'm with Kenny when he says the London Stadium because it's more accessible for everyone.
Another thing is, DJB, we bloody paid for the bloody thing. They get it for free, West Ham.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Exactly. Just think, they'd be gassed the West Ham. They'd be seeing proper football at that stadium for a change.
It's as much our stadium as theirs. I've got property. I've got property in 2 parts of the country. One of my properties are in London. I pay council tax on all my properties, but one of my properties is in London, and I'm paying for their council tax. So, hang on here, but why not use it? I just think. I think the way the situation is, you play those Champions League games that we played nearly 27 years ago. It was like a cup fight. Look at the teams we played. We had 6 games. We played Panathinaikos, Kiev, and Lons. The year afterwards, we played Solna, Fiorentina, Barcelona, and Fiorentina. How many games did we win in those games? We only won 2. One against Panathinaikos and one against Solna, and we lost and we drew one and lost the other 3.
Yeah.
And by the way, we had the best defence in the country. We had the best goalkeeper in the country. We had Petit Vieira.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It won't.
So is there any way around,
it
like,
will
obviously,
be like
we're
away
kind of...
game. It will be like an away game. It will be
Say that
like
again?
away. Listen, that stadium. Let me just put this to for every Arsenal fan. They might not like it, but don't get on your high horse going, oh, what a beautiful thing Arsenal are doing. They're extending the stadium. They're thinking of the fans. No.
They are, but they're thinking of the wallet.
They're extending the stadium for one reason only: money.
Just
That's
like
all
everyone
it is.
within football.
To hold concerts, to keep up with the Joneses. They don't give a toss about the Arsenal fan. They're going to sell that to all the corporates. You'll have more
and if you can't pay,
businesses
there's
in
20
there.
others that will.
You'll have non-Arsenal fans in there that have got, that are in with this one and that one, and they're going to spend the money on all the beers and the champagne and everything else. They're not going to be worried. So don't start going, oh, what a wonderful football club. Look at this. Look, look at the extending our stadium to get more fans in. No. It's literally to keep up with the Joneses and for Spurs down the road, because they've seen what Levy and Spurs done.
Yeah.
And one legacy that Levy has left Tottenham is that he built an absolute fantastic stadium. And it is the best in the country.
NFL and concerts as DJ.
Yeah. And that's the only reason why this club is extending that stadium. No, for no other reason. Not for the fan not for the fan like me, Kenny, DG, and everyone else in the chat.
Exactly. Because you know what Tottenham's done. What Tottenham's done is that they've got a partnership with the NFL. They've got a great Eddie Hearn's a Tottenham fan. Well, he's a Tottenham season ticket holder. And he supports the Leighton. I don't know what he is with Leighton.
Oh, yeah, the boxing as well. Forgot about that.
So the boxing as well. So they've got a partnership. They're making money. Arsenal make their money apart from football from having concerts. Like the concert they're having in June is Boys Own. Because I know that for a fact because they sent me the email to advise me of it. And I will
sent me an email. You getting tickets, Kenny? Are you?
I could barely sing one of their songs, and I have no intention of all 3 of us singing aloud together to any of their songs. But you know what I mean? I'm going to boil some piss.
Go ahead, man.
There's some people in the chat that's saying, "Oh yeah, why would you want to go to a 62,000 stadium? Why you could go to a 90,000 stadium?" I can promise you right now, like I say, categorically, putting all my nuts on the table. There's only one club in this country that is capable of filling a 90k stadium.
Man United.
And it ain't us.
No.
Right?
Man United.
I promise you'll have that stadium and you'll have 20,000 spaces. I promise you that. When Man United will fill that stadium, if they want, and they're probably only going to fill it when they play us, Liverpool, and then Man City.
Then they have to become half decent again. Yeah.
Because the reason why Man United are building a 100,000 stadium is because they know full well they can fill it £100,000 because they regularly fill a 75,000 stadium, even though they're not the Man United that we know and hate.
No, I don't want Wembley.
Let's not give it the Berties about we're playing at 90,000 stadium and all that. Well, I say it respectfully, half of you probably wouldn't go anyway. Because I know there's a lot of Arsenal fans out there, and I use the term loosely. Get us a ticket for anytime you want a ticket for Arsenal, you've got a spare ticket. Let me know. Spare ticket arrives. All right, mate, I've got a spare ticket for you. I'm not too sure. Yeah. How much is it? 50 quid. That's a bit expensive. Do you want it for free? Oh, yeah, I'll be there. But if you give it to them for free, he's like, I'm not sure I could go. Because I've got to take the wife out. We've got so many wafflers who say they're Arsenal fans who say, anytime there's a spare ticket, let me go. And when you give them the opportunity, nothing. We've all had
I'm
it.
Just wondering who would be the manager when we go to Wembley.
Yeah.
But do you not feel because I feel us 3 are focused on this whole going to Wembley as they're doing the redevelopment. Is there any, maybe it's above my head, but is there any way we can play at the Emirates and work starts? I don't know. Is there any way of just not moving while this happens? I don't know.
Well, they done it, didn't they? When they had the mural, didn't they? That time,
True.
when they, when they doing the all-seater, they had the mural up for ages, didn't they? At the Ivory there, and the atmosphere was a really, really flat. I mean, the problem you got is if they was to close the part that's going to be refurbished to put where do you put those fans? Because
another conundrum.
Do you know what I mean? What's going? Let's say they refurbished a bit where I sit on the upper tier, and they extend it and make it more.
They might tell you never come back, and you get discounts and all that.
I mean, they've either got two options. They either say to me, right, well, we'll refund your money and keep your season ticket open, or I'm going to have to rough it and go down with Kenny.
Hey, I'm not wrong with
that. I don't mind, but where are they going to put all those fans?
And that's the thing. Some people are going to be hard done by.
Take the seats out and make it standing. Then you can get more fans.
There's some Arsenal fans that have been following Arsenal a lot longer than I've been alive every game, and they're going to miss out.
Yeah, but we are getting towards it because we are getting safe standing. Because I've been to a lot of grounds, home and away games. Not away games where I've been to grounds where safe standing is the rage. If you go to Chelsea, they got safe standing.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
They need to move out that stadium as well.
And I think people from Liverpool, especially the poor families who lost their families, their loved ones in Hillsborough, they've approved it as well. And I think it's right because you stand anyway, don't you? Like on Wednesday, when you're when you're 20s and 30s, you stand all game. But when you're 40s and your 50s, you go to the gym a lot and you lift heavy weights and you do all this running. You want to have a sit down at a football there. You tend to waddle.
Drinking enough beers, man.
So here's me.
Especially in some games
me and the guy sitting next to me, Mo. We're sitting down because our knees are gone. And these pork chops are standing in front of us, and I'm having to go. Now, do I spoil their first time experience and tell them to sit down, or give them a kick up the backside, or do I stand in appreciation of
get some painkillers and stand, man?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I reckon we could do. I reckon there's a way we can refurbish it and have like a safe standing area where we can get the fans that have. I'm sure there's a way where you can do a section and.
What do they want to?
I'm not keen on the Wembley thing. I'm really not keen on the Wembley.
I'm not on the Wembley thing either.
I don't want the FA. You know what it is, DJB? I don't want the FA to have any more money. I'm sick of the FA.
No, I don't want the FA to have any more money.
I'm sick of them.
The fans are going to be inconvenienced big time. I know it's an inconvenience.
They're the ones that pay the price.
Yeah, but they built a bloody thing in 2007. Since then, you try and tell me that they're still in debt, the FA.
Sounds like the dealings, man.
I mean, Jesus Christ! Last year they had They had YouTubers hiring out, and they got 90,000 fans from YouTubers and charity.
Let's go to the London Stadium where the taxpayer pays for it all.
Our taxes, our council tax.
Let's go to the London Stadium. Why not? The transportation's easy to get to.
It's only 50 minutes on the train.
It's good links. It's good links. It's not that far from where we are now.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not far at all.
That's the situation.
That's the job done.
Exactly. Yeah. 5 minute walk.
I don't understand. If you lived in Kent, and it's easy for you to get Stratford. If you lived in, say, one thing I do take in consideration, I've got a lot of respect for all of you. I know a lot of our fans don't always come from North London. They don't always come from Hertfordshire.
No.
Don't come from Essex. Don't come from West London. There's fans who live in Bristol. There's fans who come from like Swansea for the day. I know we have fans from the Republic who get the plane over quite regularly. And I know a guy who comes from Holland every time for a game. I respect that, but
big up,
big, and I big him up, and I know, and that's one of the reasons why I'm against the Boxing Day games. I hate the Boxing Day games because there's no trains for our fans. You're assuming that every Arsenal fan lives in Islington. What about the fans
Some are away from their families as well. Then,
what about the fan who lives in Bristol? The fan who comes to watch Arsenal today from
we got caned for that the other day, Kenny, for cancelling the Boxing Day fixtures.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced. I still want them, but that will make me change my tune.
I think it's an absolute nonsense.
I'll put it this way, right? What difference does it make having a game Boxing Day or a game on the 27th? Still over the Christmas period.
I want all Christmas game. I want all Christmas football.
But not everything needs to change, man. Not all change is good. Sometimes leave it.
I don't understand. I don't understand that everyone talks about player welfare. And they talk about players getting tired, and we're beset with injuries. Us, forget other clubs. We're beset with injuries. Yet the great opportunity for our players to get a break, we're not grabbing it with both hands. I don't understand that.
Yeah,
it makes. I think it's mental. I understand the logic about Christmas, but at the end of the day, Arsenal don't play Spurs on Boxing Day like they did in the 70s and 80s.
No.
They can go anywhere. Everton don't play Liverpool. So Everton don't play Man United, and Man United don't play Man City. They can send you anywhere. So the logical reason for having these games over the Christmas period is a joke, and it's not a funny one, to be honest. No, you know what I suggest you guys should do? What's wrong with watching The Sound of Music on Boxing Day or Tom Thumb? What's wrong with that?
Fuck that, man. I look forward to waking up on Boxing Day and watching football. I
can't. Yeah, because you're very selfish. I say respectfully, right? What if you had a season to go and you had to go to those games? What would you be saying then?
I'd go. I've been to a couple Boxing Day matches. I remember.
All right, when you're in your 10th year of being a season ticket holder, you'll be saying something different.
Maybe, but we have to cross that bridge when we get there, man. Right now,
I love it on the 27th. I love having the Christmas and then knowing that Boxing Day is. I've done the Boxing Day. The following day, you go to Arsenal. Do you remember the 80s, though? Oh, yeah.
I remember one time. I got one. This is what I remember. In the 1983-84 season, we played Spurs at 11:30 at White Hart Lane, beat them 4-2.
Yeah.
The next day, at 3:00, we played Birmingham at home.
Yeah.
We won 4-2 and we drew 1-1 with Birmingham at home the next day. And then after that, New Year's Day, we had another game.
Yeah. And then a couple of days later, we had the FA Cup. Tell me the
logic of that. You've got one game on Boxing Day and you've got to play the next day and you've got a game. Tell me the logic of that.
There's no logic, is there?
There isn't, no. Yeah.
The only other ground we can share is Spurs' ground. What's wrong with that?
We'll hit off with that.
What's wrong with Spurs' ground? We could win the league there again. It's no problem.
DJB, can you imagine us going into the Bill Nicholson pub before the match?
That's true. We could win the league a third time.
Listen,
I'll see you in the Bill Nicholson pub next season. You know what it is? In 3 years' time, me and you will have a drink in a Bill Nicholson pub then before home games.
Right next to my house. I walk past every day.
Years ago, Kenny might remember this. I think it was in the early 80s, mid 80s. There were plans on Arsenal and Tottenham grand sharing Alexander Palace.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, years ago. Yeah,
well, that would have been eventful,
and that was that close of going through. And I think it was David Dean or something, but it was that close of going through. I can't remember how it fell off.
David Dean wanted to take us to Wembley.
Yeah,
he wanted to take us to Wembley.
I think he wanted to take us to Wembley, but we were that close grand sharing, like Lazio did with We was that close in sharing Alexander Palace with. Can
I say something controversial? It would have made bloody sense, and it was suited.
It would have made good sense. It would have made absolute good sense.
Those clubs would have been cash rich.
Oh, we would have been absolutely massive. We would have been one of the biggest clubs.
Ali Pali's bang between Arsenal and Tottenham.
Yeah, it's cool for everyone to kind of get there.
Everyone. Get the bus W free from Finsbury Park.
Everyone.
Or get the bus W free from Tottenham.
Islington, Arsenal, Hackney, everyone can get there.
Yeah. You know the bus
surrounding areas, and it's not that deep for others.
You know the bus W3. If you go to Wells Terrace in Finsbury Park, you get the bus W3, and then it goes around. It goes through like Stragan Road, State Paul Road, and then it actually goes through past Hornsey and Crouch End, and it goes straight outside Ali Pally.
I'm saying it goes everywhere.
It's bang on Ali Pally, and then when you go from Ali Pally, you go. The last stop is Northumberland Park, Tottenham's ground, and you go, and it actually stops at White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
So logistically,
it would have made
a lot of sense when you put it like that. You know?
Yeah. Would have been like the Milan teams, definitely would have been like the Milan teams, you know. But years ago, that was bang on the cards. It was
a great idea. Great idea.
Seems like it was that close to happening, man. That close.
Imagine it. It was that close of happening. Similar to Maradona signing for Arsenal.
Kwame's not happy about that. He said he'd rather share a farm with animals than share a ground with buds. No way. I love it, Kwame.
That's how I feel.
That's mad, isn't it? Maradona nearly signed for Arsenal. All them years ago.
Kwame, I love that one. You got to pin that.
What's he say? I would rather share a farm with the animals than share a ground with the spuds. No way.
Hey,
he's literally a very proud North Londoner, Kwame, man. Very proud.
What you do? I want you to pin that. That is the best. That's why I love this chat. Pin that and keep it for life.
Well, we could be sharing the ground. Yeah, we could.
Yeah, we can't speak. Do you see? Like, there are a lot of Arsenal fans that only get the chance of getting to the Emirates Stadium is to watch Coldplay. The stadium expansion, I'm here for it as long as it doesn't affect the transfer money pot. Tony, as these two have alluded to, you'd have to accept that. You know?
It's got to.
Tony, it's got to do it. You forget about it. There's no way around it.
Yeah. It's going to affect the transfer pot, and it won't go to the real fans as much as I want it to. As much as I want it to, that should be paramount. And Arsenal fans right now, if they're proper, if we are, this is the problem, right? We should be saying to the football club now, extend the stadium, disrupt us by going to Wembley, fine, providing there's no court. Providing the proper Arsenal fans get first dib on them.
Give and take.
Hey, SLD, don't you even think about it. You're on form today. Ken sounds like he used to visit Spurs. Only time I go to Tottenham's ground is for the boxing. And actually, I'm going there for the second Chris Eubank Ben fight. So
he goes
SLD. SLD, you've got a point there, but I do have no Tottenham race. And by the way, SLD, Monreal over Martinelli. There you go.
Oh, Monreal, man. Come on.
Good serviceman for the club.
Yeah, he was underrated, Monreal. Really.
Underrated.
You know on Dan's show. You know on Dan's show, he copied a segment from Harry Symeou where he said, because it's going to segue into like the new. It's going to segue into the new. So the topic you got about Raya and Tim getting a contract. Yeah. But we had a question on Dan's show yesterday, and obviously Harry Symeou did it. He said, name 3 of Arsenal's best players since 2020. I went for you.
Hang on. I bet you went for Timber. I bet you went for Timber, Raya, and Rice.
No, I went for Timber, Raya, and Partey.
I got 2 right.
Nah, I don't know about Partey, man.
Well, let's discuss it. Discuss.
2020, yeah.
Since 2020. When did we
sign Aubameyang? What year was Aubameyang?
Arsene Wenger signed him, so it's not allowed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's not allowed. Fucking good question, man.
Gabby. When did we sign Gabby?
Magalhaes, 100%. Magalhaes.
I'm going to go Timber. I'm going to go Timber, Rice.
Gabby, Rice.
All right. Name your players and why.
Timber, Gabby, and Rice. I'm going for.
Why? I need reasons.
Well,
DJB go.
The chat can get involved as well because this is for you as well.
Timber is probably the most out and out right back that I've seen in many a year at Arsenal. 1-to-1. He's now improving his game in attacking third as well, which he's needed to do. But he's been an out and out proper defender. When I look at Timber, I look at him as a proper right back. Stuart Pearce kind of settings, you know.
Gabriel.
No messing, even though Stuart played on the left, but you know what I mean, a fullback, you know, proper fullback. Gabby, leader, he's probably improved, the most improved player as well. I think there's a hole in the defence if Gabby's not there. Yeah. And Rice is one of these players in midfield since I'm looking at all the other midfielders that we've signed. Partey's had a lot of injury issues, so he's been in and out.
And he never showed us consistency, man.
Yeah. Partey would have been if he'd have stayed fit and played a big chunk of the games, then he would have been in there. But
surely Saliba can count. I know he signed in 2019, but he became a proper player. No.
And I think with Rice, his all-round game, his work rate.
I'm stuck on the first.
And I've always said that he's the sort of player that when he's not in the team, you notice it.
You miss
whether
him.
You like him, whether you want him in the 6, whether you want him in the 8. My biggest worry, and it still is, if Rice got injured,
we're in trouble.
And you're lining up with Marino and Zubimendi as our midfielders, then the squad depth would be questioned. And I think Rice is the most important player he's probably one of the first names that you put on a team sheet, in my 100%. Opinion. So Rice, Gabby, and Timber are probably my first 3.
Why Gabby?
Yeah,
come on.
Come on.
No. Come on, Kenny.
No, I think he's the most improved.
I'll give his reasons.
I think he's the most improved. What I like about Gabby, he wears his heart on his sleeve, doesn't he? He's passionate.
We will miss Gabby more than Saliba if either one got injured right now.
He wears his heart on the sleeve. He's kind of really, he's like a throwback to some of the centre halves that we've had over the past years. You know, he's really passionate. Like when he makes a tackle, even though we're 2-0 up, when he makes a tackle and he stops a goal from being scored, he kind of treats it as if it like really means the world to us, you know.
All action go, man.
And that's what I like about. That's what he reminds me of how an Arsenal player should be in defence, especially in the centre half, especially in the centre. Yeah.
Why Timber?
Sorry.
Why Timber?
Timber, as I said Timber because he's an out and out fullback for me. Timber. He's an out and out fullback.
Best right back we've had in the Emirates era, 100%.
Of a fullback. You know, he's good on 1-to-1. He very rarely gets caught behind, and he's the closest. He's probably one of the best fullbacks that we've had in a long, long time. And
he's
now
the best right back we've had in the Emirates era. He's better than Sagna.
Yeah. And now he's improving his game in the attack as well. So yeah, they're the 3 for me. Timber,
what about you, TJ? Because these are rules. Because I know you're trying to break them. You can't have Saka. Right. You can't have Aubameyang.
And you can't have Saliba.
It says from 2020.
Oh, how doesn't Saliba? When did Saliba kick a ball for this football club?
No,
Man's coming out with Havertz.
But played by the rules.
Never me.
Played by the rules of the game.
I think I'm going to pick the same. Well, to be honest, third, I'm struggling. Gabriel Magalhaes, because I've been with that guy since the beginning when he was making those bozo moments and all those things. And I remember some Arsenal fans saying Pablo Mari's better than him. I think Gabriel, whatever people say about Arteta and Arsenal, I think Gabriel Magalhaes, from what he used to be to what he is now, and that kind of period, I think that sums up the thing we went on. So I'd say Magalhaes. It's difficult. Gabriel Magalhaes, Declan Rice, man. Like Declan, it's Rice, isn't it? Rice is just mustard. Like
why Declan? What does Declan give you as a midfielder?
Oh, he makes me feel safe. He protects me. He's got a talismanic figure. It genuinely feels like he's come. If I didn't know he was at West Ham and we bought him, obviously, I'd have thought he would have been here for years. I just think he's captain fantastic type of thing. You're always going to fall in love with those players. You could argue. I don't necessarily believe this, but you could argue us beating Real Madrid at the Emirates with his 2 free kicks is probably the most standout game in European history since we've moved to the Emirates. It might even potentially eclipse when we beat Barcelona for some, give or take. So Gabriel Rice, admittedly, Kenny, The third one is where I'm human and R-ing. I want to say Timber. I feel like it's injustice with VAR that I can't include Saliba.
It's up to you. It's nothing to do with me.
You know what? Left field chase.
Was that?
Nah, I don't believe that. You know, I was gonna say Gabriel Jesus for those first 6 months. I don't believe that.
Can't be doing.
I can't pick a third one. You know, like Gabriel. Gabriel. I said Gabriel Rice. I want to say Timber as well. Like Timber's the only one I'm kind of thinking. A part of me wants to say David Raya. You know what, Raya? David Raya. Actually, David Raya.
Why don't want to keep going with why David Raya?
Why David Raya? Because we had a better goalie. Like I thought at one point, I'll be honest, I thought Ramsdale was the best goalie we had during the Emirates era. Not that we've had many. Obviously, David Raya has come in. A lot of people didn't really see the vision, myself included. And he's just a steady pair of hands. And yeah, David Raya, man. I'm trying not to have recency bias and try not to pick the same, but we actually haven't. You know what? When you ask me, we're not blessed with that much quality in the Emirates era.
Raya wouldn't be that goalkeeper if he didn't have a solid defense in front of him, man.
Yeah, no, but then even that, you are right, DJB. But how many times has he saved us off his own back, though? I'll be real, like he saved us a lot of times. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you cannot rate Raya. I don't think he's the best goalkeeper in the world. I definitely think he's up there, like he's top 5 and all that. But yeah, man, I got time for Raya. Raya saved us bare. Like I hear what DJB said. Like definitely when you got that defense, it's cool. But there's been many a time where he's bailed us out. Man United last season and a couple of times. I want to say Timber. It's a toss-up between Timber and Raya. I want to give flowers to Ben White, if I'm honest with you, brutally.
It's your show, mate. Do what you have to do.
You know what?
Okay, then DG.
Martin Ødegaard.
There's only 3 players, does there? Only 3.
Yeah,
DG. How about this then, right? Who would you miss at the teams? Who would you miss more at the team, Timber or Raya?
Raya. Because what's the biggest fall off? Timber is Ben White's no Timber, but I can maneuver with White. Respectfully to Kepa, I ain't trying to see even go for us. I'm not trying to see that. So probably that. I hear you, but probably that.
Yeah.
If Timber's not there, of course.
See, that's how I am with Rice. That's exactly how I am. If you take Rice out of that midfield on a regular basis, we've got problems.
We're scared. Yeah, we've been introduced to something. But I'm gonna give the last one to Odegaard.
What has Odegaard done to move the wheel and make us into a top team?
I mean, there's got to be a correlation with Odegaard signing for us permanently and now us fighting for titles.
No, that's all right.
Mikel Arteta in the Champions League.
I want footballing reasons.
That is footballing reasons. Has he not? He's been the captain when it's been a difficult time. He made his debut for his country at 15 and he's helping Dowman. Like he's central to the system.
Is that the best you can come up with?
I didn't say, is that it? You asked me my reasons. Odegaard's probably the most important signing under Arteta.
Odegaard has not been influential enough for me in big moments.
They remember the first year we fought for the title.
When you want a captain to step up in big moments, he's just not been there.
What big games has he not scored in?
Big moments. I've seen, But
of course, in trouble. That ain't Odegaard. On a serious note, I'll probably go the same as DJB. Timber. I think only Sagna can say he's better than you at right back. Rice, because it's Rice.
Boy, 10, I am. I'm holding him to account.
Go on, Kenny. Marnie, explain the dubious choice. What was Boy 10 going for? Where you been, Boy 10, anyway? I ain't seen you for a while, man.
No, he's been in the chat. I've been watching.
Odegaard's one of the most technically proficient players in our history in the Emirates era.
You know why I went for the same. I went for players, in my opinion, I thought that turned us from a top 4 team into a team that could challenge. And I do think that the presence of David Raya...
You could have said Jesus and Zinni, to be fair. But...
Don't you think Partey was a bit injury prone, though, Kenny?
You missed Partey can't be there, Kenny. That's horrible.
He missed a lot of games.
Yeah, but what did Partey? When you actually deep it, what did Partey do?
Can I go for it?
We saw 2 years from Partey of consistent fitness.
Can I go for it?
A couple of good seasons.
Even Jack was probably better than him.
Yeah, but let me go through my reasons first. The reasons why I go for these players is because I think that they turn us from a team through performances, from a team that is only good for the top 4, to a team that can actually challenge, albeit not win. David Raya, without a shadow of doubt, has basically saved us probably 15 points a season. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I think he's an absolute upgrade in Aaron Ramsdale.
And I didn't even believe that at
who
first.
Who knew? Timber, as far as I'm concerned, Timber is probably probably the reason why we're difficult to break down. You think about the team, the defence before Timber.
We're not getting overloaded on that right-hand side.
Who, by the way, everyone was saying was a left back. How dare you? Calling him a left back. How dare you? You Philistines.
Kenny, can I just interrupt you? I said that we used to get overloaded a lot on that right-hand side. Teams used to overload us, but since Timber's been there, we don't get overloaded so much.
That's what I've gone for.
I think Magalhaes the most underrated of all our defenders.
Yeah, that's what I think. You know why? I went for Thomas Partey. The reason I went for Thomas Partey because it seems people have got short memories about his performances.
When fit, he was mustard, but how many? He was good a lot of the times. How many times was Partey great?
People forget his performances in the 22-23 season before he got injured. Simply forget. I heard people saying he was the best player in the league. They did run that. Those performances turned us from a team that struggled for top 4 to a team that should have won the league.
And Raya, Saliba, and Timber have all signed new deals or in the process of such as well. It's mad.
So when I look at players who moved the wheel, who turn us into a top team, because let's face it, as much as I'm critical of the manager, I'm not a pork chop. I know we're a good side. I know we're good.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he can make us champions.
That's his question. Can he get over the line now?
Yeah. I'm not. You think I'm going to go like a pork chop and say we're shit? What credibility am I going to have if I say that?
No, we're not shit.
You know what I mean?
He just needs to get over the line. Well, you know what? We actually haven't even spoken about Liverpool or anything, man. Like, we're top of the league.
I thought this was an Arsenal show.
No. But how are you lot feeling about the title? Because Antonio said, "What thing do we have to improve in order to win the title?" Like, I thought it just made a bit of sense.
We make home games. Make Arsenal a fortress.
Yeah, I've said don't settle for nothing less than 3 points every home game. Yeah. You've got to get 3 points every home game. Then that gives you a little safety net that when you do play away, if you do drop points, as long as you know you're winning your own games, that's fine. Also, this manager has got to stop trying to be something that he's never going to be. Sometimes you've got to keep it simple.
Don't you think he's been doing that? He's playing Eze in the roles supposed to.
And play to the squad's strengths. Not trying to think that he's someone really, 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 really special and complicate things in big games. Because he's got a habit of complicating things in big games.
City, 1,000,000%.
Doing something crazy in big games. And we're falling short. So he's got to stop all that nonsense. Keep it basic. Let the players play. And let them work out their own strengths sometimes in games. And he doesn't do that sometimes. He makes it all too regimental. And the players don't let them. The players get bogged down with too many systems. They're overcoached sometimes. And that's what he's got to stop doing. So
at least in the final third, just let them play, man.
And also, it's a mental thing. Because when you finish runners-up 3 seasons running and you haven't won a trophy, it becomes a mental thing as well. Psychologically, the players, when they get to that stage, it's all right at the moment, 7 games in, top of the league, they're not at that stage. But it will get to that stage where games will be crucial. And that's when the psychological things comes into play. Because then players start thinking, do you remember this time last season when we dropped 3 points and we fell behind? They've got to get over that. They've got to have a belief that they can actually win it as well. And that will only be tested.
I'll be real.
That will only be tested in big moments. And the manager will be tested in big games as well. And that will only be tested in big games. It won't be tested at home to West Ham or, teams like that. It will be tested when we have to go away to Tottenham, when we have to go to the Etihad, when we play Liverpool at home. that's when it'll be tested.
And any game in April, really, April, May.
That's when it'll be tested. You know, the running. You know, if we're 5 points clear and 4 games to go, you've got to win them games. That's when the psychological, the mental block will come into these players because they've been there before and failed. That's why I said it's important we win the Carabao Cup. Because that Carabao Cup will come early in the season. And if we win that, then they know that they've tasted success.
It's a bit of a boost.
And it will give them the confidence that in those big moments towards the end of the season, it will give them the confidence to go all the way. That is why disrespecting the Carabao Cup could be this club's wrongdoing.
Do you think do you two think people are sleeping on Manchester City? Because a lot of it is being said about us. We're now the bookies' favourite. Apparently,
it's Man City though. I don't think.
Feels like City just quietly going about their business.
Listen, there's other teams that are going to be harder than Man City and Liverpool.
For us,
The weight of Brighton's going to be a tough game. Palace is going to be a tough game when we go there. You know, Spurs. I hate.
Our last game of the season.
It's going to be a tough game this season.
You know, our last 2 away games of the season.
Yeah,
our last 3 games.
West Ham away.
Burnley, then Palace. Last game home. Last game of the season away from home.
I know. Yeah,
but the problem is that I think with Arsenal, he asked a very good question because when Man City lost against Brighton, prior to that, we said it's a 3-horse title. It's a 3-horse race, and we were the 3rd favourites. And then Man City lost to Open Tottenham. Annually, they do that anyway, and then they lost to
their bogey team.
Yeah, and they lost to Brighton the week afterward. They lost to Brighton, I think, the week afterwards, and then we went right. All bets are off. They're out of the title race. Since then, they came to the Emirates where we expected to smash them, and we were hanging on. We're the ones who got the equaliser in the last minute, not them. And I hear what you're saying, DJB. Haaland and Donnarumma have moved. Haaland can't stop scoring. Donnarumma is the best goalkeeper for me in Europe.
And what you just said
at both ends.
What you just said when you picked out your 3, Kenny, it's players that make an impact in the team, and Donnarumma and Haaland made an impact for City.
Yeah. And you think about it, Doku knows full well that if he gets in behind the defence and puts it through, Haaland's going to score. You know, he is for me the sole reason why I think. Yeah, you can't discount Man City. I think their game against Liverpool next month is going to be a proper test. You can't write off Liverpool because they won their first 5 games. They've lost 2 games in the last seconds of injury time.
They've been owed that though,
and they have been owed that. But essentially, what's killing Man City and Liverpool is their inability to kill teams off, their inability to game management. Where what's keeping us on top of the table is our defence.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, Kenny. You can't rely on defence. I mean, yeah, you need a solid defence because we see it under George Graham and managers like that. But
the game's
changed. It will only take you so far. And this is what we said earlier on in the stream. You know, because unless we are scoring goals, and this is why I'll come back to York. This is the reason why we signed a number 9, because in big games, when it really matters, February, March, April, you need your strikers scoring goals. You need goals from all around the pitch. All the teams that have won Premiership titles have always had players.
They always have players that kick into form as well. Around them kind of times. They might not even be the main guys.
Lampard's used to chip in with loads of goals, and Chelsea teams used to score from everywhere. Liverpool, they had people chipping in with goals last season. Man City have over the years. You can't just rely on a good goalkeeper and a good defence. It'll win you games, but it's not gonna catapult you forward to all the time. You are gonna get caught out.
And we know what we're getting from our defensive players than our attacking players.
Yeah, really. Yeah. And listen, and you've got to address it. We have got players that have had horrific injuries, so squad rotation is going to be key.
No,
Sancho-
What do you not make of Odegaard? What do you make of Odegaard then, DJB? Because I actually feel he was. I don't want to go as far as to say he was gonna, prove people wrong, but he was finding his feet before once again. Obviously, another injury, very different.
Do you know what? Right, for once, I'm actually, I'm gonna say it. I actually felt sorry for him, to be honest.
It does
Because
it's sad.
yeah, I felt sorry for him really because he came back against Olympiacos. He showed some good things. It looked like he had a new role within the team with Eze in the team. It looked like he had a little bit more freedom. And it looked like he started to make things happen with his passing and that. And then he got injured against West Ham, a challenge. We all know that players don't know how to tackle these days. They've lost the art of how to tackle these days, so it's always going to happen. And then he went down. I thought it was something like a dead leg or something because he played on. I thought, looking at the challenge on the screen where I was sitting and for how far away I was, I didn't think it was that serious. I thought it was like a dead leg and he'd run it off. And I think that's at first, that's probably what the bench thought. They probably thought he'd run it off. But then when he went down, he should have been taken off straight away. The manager should have said, no, yeah, but boss, I want to play. No, I don't care. You're
Save him from himself now.
You're coming off. You're coming off. Yeah. Especially when the manager knows he's got a history of players being injured. Why would you take that risk? So I didn't understand that. However, I just felt sorry for I feel sorry that he's injured, to be honest, because I would have liked to seen him with him and Eze in the same.
We finally
team.
got what we wanted in the game, and then
that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Eze in the 10. I wanted to see Odegaard in a more kind of free role, and then I wanted to sort out the left-hand side as we go along. We make that up as we go along. Is it true? I think they flip a coin. Heads or tails. Heads Trossard, tails Martinelli. That's how it is on the left.
Just bring me Semenyo, man, in January.
Do you know what I mean?
Because
I said Semenyo 2 seasons ago and got laughed at.
And now I probably would have laughed at me 2 years ago.
I said Semenyo over Rodrigo and got laughed at.
Hey, guys, sorry, Kate. I had to sort of like, I had my ear against the wall with this conversation. We had a debate yesterday on Dan's show, and it was basically, it started off with D.
I knew you were going to say it. He's the biggest.
I couldn't get there yesterday.
It was a case of like, it was actually, it started off with who rates Semenyo and who didn't rate Semenyo, and it got to who was better between Semenyo and Rodrigo, and it got to who was better than Semenyo and I think it was whether Semenyo could play for Real Madrid. One said they couldn't, and one said they could.
I saw that between Lee and Stricto.
Yeah. And it's a very good question because I didn't get involved because I was too busy like thinking,
you was enjoying the show.
I was too busy enjoying it. But here's me with Semenyo. I did get with Semenyo. He's in fantastic form. But the question we always ask yourself, the question we always ask yourself,
can he step up?
It's not even that, because I think he can. Is it form that is temporary, or is he class that is going to be forever?
Well, one answer to that. He was bought. He hasn't tailed off from last season. He hit the ground running at the beginning of last season.
He joined them in 2023, and he's got better year in, year out.
Dropped. So he went the whole of last season carrying Bournemouth and playing well for Bournemouth, scoring goals, assists. And
he won't be at Bournemouth like next season.
What I'm saying is he started this season exactly the same. So
and look at the variety in goals. How he's bagged against Liverpool. He's finished at the weekend. It's free kick.
This is what I'm saying. It's not a fluke.
Would he be able to transit? Would he be able to sort of make the transition to us? Because
the
problem is though, Kenny, my biggest problem, right? And people are going to go, oh, here he goes. He's going on about the manager again. But a Mikel Arteta Semenyo would be totally different to a Bournemouth Semenyo. An Areola Semenyo and a Mikel Arteta Semenyo are two different worlds. Because the way Arteta plays, he's tactically the way Arteta plays won't suit Semenyo. We're seeing it with Gyökeres. We see it with Martinelli when he plays on the left.
Do you see that with Eze?
We're seeing it in parts with Eze.
To be fair, I think he's unleashed Eze a bit now. If I'm honest, like
You know,
Eze needs
but
to get
what I'm
shooting
trying to
boots.
say is, this is what I'm saying is, so I don't think it's the fact that whether Semenyo can step up, because if Semenyo was in a different team, he wouldn't be any different. But Semenyo coming to Arsenal and what the role he would have to play at Arsenal, tracking back and covering Calafiori.
Everything
when
he does at
goes on
Bournemouth, including
walkabout.
that.
He's
You
a Ghanaian. He's not an England international. So what about African Cup of Nations for future?
Yeah, that's the only problem, isn't it?
He's been there before, man.
But what you got to remember as well, though,
if he's our top player,
yeah, but
this season he's at Bournemouth, but in say he's with us next season,
yeah,
and it's a 28 African Cup of Nations. Same question remains: we're going to lose him.
Yeah.
But
also, what you got to remember is Rodrigo will probably come on big wages, whereas Semenyo would come on lesser wages and probably would get him cheaper than Rodrigo.
And being devil's advocate, yeah, how do we know Rodrigo will? Because let's have it right. You're leaving Real Madrid where you've made the difference, you've done your thing, but you're coming to Arsenal. We're going to kind of live or die by your performances. How do we know he can carry us like that?
But yeah, I can see where you're saying. He ain't going to come now. We've missed the boat on Rodrigo.
Yeah, no, Rodrigo's done.
But people are forgetting one thing, right? This manager signed Madueke. Semenyo ain't coming to the club because when Madueke's fit, it's either him playing on the left or Saka playing on the left.
What, you think Semenyo can't take Madueke his spot?
No, because everyone was gassing up. Hang on a minute, DG. All your Arsenal fans were gassing up Madueke after his first 2 games for the club, saying, "Oh, what a signing! How brilliant is he?" Now he's injured. They're gassing up Semenyo.
But D, what's the difference between both of them, though? Because I think Madueke's done well. Semenyo's getting goals. Madueke isn't. That's the one thing with Madueke.
I said right when we was saying about Rodrigo, and I said, why don't we go and get Semenyo from Bournemouth? And everyone was going to me, well, you'd rather Semenyo than Rodrigo, and I went, yeah, because he's more doable. Because it's realistic. It's probably more realistic in the summer getting Semenyo than it was Rodrigo. That's why I wanted Semenyo, because it was more realistic of getting him. We was never going to get Rodrigo. We was never going to get Rodrigo, but we had a chance of getting Semenyo. But once again, the club went for the other option because of the Chelsea thing and everything else. We went with Madueke. By signing Madueke, didn't open the door for Semenyo or Rodrigo. It stumped us. That was it.
It'd have been lovely with Semenyo.
That was it. The minute we signed Madueke, we weren't getting a left-sided midfielder. That deal was off. Whether it was Semenyo, Rodrigo, Lookman, done. Now he has signed Madueke, he's now got to make that work. So there'll be no left wingers coming to Arsenal in January. I don't
think we're going to sign anyone in January anyways.
No. Madueke has got to work like Havertz has got to work. Now we've signed Madueke, that has got to work. So when he's back fit, I can see him, and people are going to say I'm mad here, but we did see Saka switch sides
against Olympiacos.
And Saka can play on the left, and he has played on the left. I can see him in certain games, perhaps playing Madueke on the right and Saka on the left, and vice versa.
Do you mean like switching, or do you mean like they're legitimately pigeonholed?
Yeah, I can see him rotating quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't mind that in game.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that happening. But what really concerns me, though, and we'll go on the whole thing, is we were going to sell Martinelli and Trossard in the summer. If the right offers would have come for them, they wouldn't have been at the club. Let's get it right. Martinelli would have been sold. Trossard would have been sold. Oh, yeah. So how comes these 2 players against Olympiacos are getting a shout over Wanyeri? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but the thing is, DJB, are they getting a shout over Wanyeri, or are they getting a shout over Max Dowman?
Both. Both, but I say Wanyeri, Kenny, because he's further in his development.
He's further up. He's further up. He's further up.
He's further up. Wanyeri's seen as a winger anymore, or an option.
But this is my concerns. You know, when we talk about the squad and all of that, and that's why I said Wanyeri will probably end up not having much of a future at this football club, because as much as it pains to say me, he's not really getting the chance. He's only getting the chance when it's absolutely safe. When we're 2-0 up against the likes of West Ham, that's not shown any ambition. If it's absolutely safe in one of the Champions League games against less opposition and we're 2 or 3-0 up, if it's absolutely safe at home against Burnley, if we're winning 3 or 4-0, Wanyeri will get minutes. But
what if that's his role, though, D?
But he won't be trusted.
Is that bad?
It's not a role that you want an 18-year-old to have with all that future, is it? That's a selfish Arsenal. That's us being selfish, isn't it? To want him just to play. You know, if you want this kid to develop and be a real top player,
he's one of the managers to put his hat on and say, "You got 5 to 10. 10's an exaggeration, but you got 5 games at the end of game week 5. Show me some."
I just think he's better off going out on loan, and I've always said this, because he ain't going to get much shout at Arsenal. As much as we want him at Arsenal, and all the Arsenal fans going, "Yeah, but you were saying about squad depth." Well, even with squad depth, he ain't going to get it. Once Havertz comes back, and once Odegaard is fit, there's your squad depth. It ain't Wanyeri. It ain't Wanyeri. He's about 5 or 6 choice.
Wanyeri, please prove him wrong.
You know what? I think I hear what you're coming from. We have to assume like there's going to be injuries. Well, we'd have to assume there's going to be injuries, and we just have to keep our fingers crossed that there's still mileage in him. And I still think that he can get games, but I will be worried if we get to certain parts of the season. I think, hang on there, why isn't he getting games? The problem is
a big decision to make. To be fair,
the stumbling block is, I say it now, the stumbling block is Eze, because because I don't like Eze on Wanyeri on the wings. I like him in the position. No. I like him in the Odegaard positions. Only one of them can play. But what we can
what about
do,
Odegaard, Eze, Rice, Wanyeri?
But what we can do with Odegaard out the side, there's nothing to stop us from playing a team similar to the one we played against West Ham, where we can have Wanyeri, Eze, Declan.
That's what I said to you at the start. I don't think Wanyeri's in them conversations yet.
There's nothing to stop us, because we all know Declan's not fit. Let's face it.
He went back straight to bringing Zubi in.
So why can't we play Zubi, Eze, and Wanyeri for certain games?
Yeah, I can't lie. If there's no Rice, I'm not confident right now. I don't think it's to run the games. We need Rice.
How far are you going to go to play an injured player?
He's not injured, man. He ain't told me.
What we could do,
he's in the England squad.
I know he's in the England squad, but he has to come off against West Ham.
Yeah, I don't think
he probably had that forever.
I'm hoping he don't play for England. I'm hoping he's benched or something.
Nah, Saka and Rice.
I'm just telling you guys categorically, Declan Rice is going to get a serious injury because he's not fit. I'm saying it without any prejudice.
Yeah, true.
Squad rotation's
key. Squad rotation's key.
Yeah, but you've all seen our fixtures. Where's that rest for Rice coming? Because I'm sure we're all playing him against Fulham. We're all definitely playing him against
Brighton in the League Cup. Brighton in the League Cup. I
don't even know if I'm on that, because I want to win that.
Who's Brighton going to play their best team?
That's their business. I want to play my best team.
Yeah, but
Brighton's not a team. You don't know yourself. Brighton's not a team you can fuck about with.
You have a strong 11 without Declan Rice in it.
I'll tell you what, though, if Gyökeres don't start pulling up trees, mate, I'd play Martinelli down the middle. I would. That's number 9.
What do you not make this on screen?
You know my view of Gyökeres. This is what I think with Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres should play every game, regardless whether it's a League Cup game or not, so he can get his confidence. I think the guy
he needs confidence.
Rhythm. That's why I was always for him playing against Port Vale. I wanted him to fill his boots.
Strikers are weird, man. They need to keep scoring, or they stop feeling like they're good. They start second guessing themselves and all that.
if there's one player who should not be left out, is him, because if he's the main man, he needs to have consistent amount of games in order to find his rhythm, get in tune with what we play, and he has. Because I'll tell you one thing: if he gets a game where he feels his boots, that could take him on a run where he'll be prolific.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
You're a Cristiano, you know Cristiano Ronaldo, right? You know the reasons why he goes on his big scoring runs. Not so much Messi, but him. It's because there's always a fixture where Cristiano, for international level and club level, where he says he'll have a fill your boots match, and he'll fill his boots, and then he goes on a run and scoring goals because he's had what I call a fill your boots game. I think your Chris could do a fill your boots game.
Yeah, definitely. I'd have started him in the that Carabao Cup game.
Same here.
Because one thing strikers need to boost their confidence is goals. And what better to start at Port Vale game? He should have started in that personally to give him the confidence. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to have the squad depth. It's nice to have the choice, but I keep hearing about the quality of the squad and how good our squad depth is. We have got a better bench. We have got better squad depth. But if you take out key players in that midfield, I'm a little bit on the. I'm a little bit on the fence.
Starting to cook. I hope you lot are watching.
I'm a little bit on the fence with it. You know what I mean? I'm really
gonna convince you, man. Trust me. By May, DJB, you'll see it, man. Trust me.
I'll see it before then. I mean, look, so far so good. I mean, of course, I'm glad we're top of the league. I've not seen a real, truly outstanding performance yet. Not in Forest.
West Ham. You don't think he pulled out off the bench?
No, I thought not the Forest was a good game.
He pulled out off the bench.
But I think what's happening right now.
Forest as well.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It can all come good. Good.
Sprint, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember Kevin Keegan's team in 98, 95, 96? That team, for me,
hang on, I've got
one of the best footballs I've ever seen.
There's madness in the chat at the moment, Kenny. SLD is saying Zubimendi is like a shorter Zidane.
Come on,
you've obviously never seen Zidane play on a day-to-day basis.
You know what? You always need a troll.
I'm telling you now. Zubimendi would even listen. That is
nowhere next to Zidane.
Yeah, what you need to do now is go to A&E. Right, you need to go to A&E and just say,
concussion, man.
With respect, SLD. Come on, man. You can't even put Zubimendi
he's definitely like trolling, isn't he? He's trolling.
You can't even put Zubimendi and Zidane in the same sentence.
He was getting on to me for being unhappy that Chelsea actually beat Liverpool recently as well. I'm actually upset that Chelsea won.
Yeah, but DG, your hate for Chelsea is quite deep.
Yeah. I want to do it another way.
If you're hate of Chelsea, you remember that the team you should really hate is the team that's next door to you virtually.
I hate them as well. I didn't cheer on Spurs when people wanted them to beat City.
Who do you hate more?
I hate everybody that's not with us. I hate both of them.
Who hate more?
Chelsea. You know what? If I'm completely honest, it should be Chelsea because it's a bit of.
Why? Spurs, they're not our rivals. Tottenham are our rivals. What's Chelsea? Chelsea nothing to do, mate.
They win everything.
They did everything that we should have done before them.
That's irrelative. The fact is that
they won the Champions before us twice
because they got better players than us.
That's why I hate them. That should have been us. The whole specialist in failure. The whole thing Wenger was against. Remember, I'm a Wenger baby.
No, I understand. I hate them. No, DG's hate for Chelsea is deep.
Yeah.
Deep,
I hate Spurs equally. I fucking hate Spurs, but it's
Spurs,
bro.
Play Chelsea. Who would you want to win?
Both can lose. I got no skin in the game. Both play yourselves.
I think he'd be back in. No, I'm going to call it.
If it came to it, Chelsea.
Oh, I don't know, DG. I don't know, man.
In fact, DJB, as I said that, and you said that, I'm
Chelsea not my rivals. Chelsea not my rivals.
I think secretly you'd like Spurs to beat Chelsea.
Never.
Even that, no, man. Fuck Spurs. I couldn't even go that far. That's what I think both.
Never.
Oh, that's a good question.
Sorry, can I ask you one question though?
That's too difficult, you know.
All right, this is a simple question. Why you guys haven't left the country? Yes, that Chelsea have won 2 Champions Leagues. I tell you now for a fact, if that lot won a Champions League, you won't be podcasting ever again.
My rivals are Man United.
You will never podcast again.
I hate Man United, but it's more of a not a friendly rivalry, but there's a level of admiration for what they did. I genuinely hate
won the Champions League. You won't be able to tolerate. You will not tolerate that, and you will.
And that's why, as much as I don't like Liverpool, I have to applaud them because that they saved me from that conversation when they beat Spurs in the final.
Humiliation if Spurs won a Champions League before us. Can you imagine?
We've both been to the same amount of finals. We need to
the arguments you'll have that you'll always lose because they always bring up the big one with the big ears.
Exactly. I must admit, I'm starting to hate City, you know, not to these lots levels, but I'm actually starting to have a lot of dislike for City, not because of the fans or the club or the manager.
Do you know what it is with me and Chelsea and Man City? Is I knew them when they were kind of a nothing club. I never when I used to go and watch Arsenal years ago. Before all the money got invested in Man City and Chelsea, they were
they were little, man.
They were mid-table. When Arsenal's fixture against Man City, I never used to worry about. It was like
tearing Danny Mills
2 points at the time, 3 points at the time. They was never a threat. Never a threat. Chelsea weren't a threat. They might have gone on a cup run. Chelsea was never kind of a threat years ago. Spurs wasn't.
Yeah, but you look at Tottenham.
The main threats of Arsenal, Kenny, wasn't it? And you'll agree with this, were Liverpool, Man United, Nottingham Forest back in the day, were under Cloughy, right?
Okay,
these were all the main threats to Arsenal, not Chelsea or City.
You can ask one question about Tottenham, though. Didn't you find it humiliating and irritating when the Poch was there, where they were clearly better than us? Clearly, it wasn't even a debate. You could talk about
the period around the power shift and all of that.
Team, they were better than us. It was embarrassing.
Last season hurt, Kenny. They were dreadful last season, and yet they won a European trophy.
Look at the meltdowns we had last season when they won a competition we weren't even in. And
European trophy.
Come on, just
a kick or punch to the gut when they won that
European trophy that this manager could not even win when he was in it.
To be fair, but we never had a run like them. We probably still would have bottled it. But look at their run. Look at that European run. I'm not using it. That's why I was
funny, right? DJ.
I'll take it with a bottle. 100%. Don't get me wrong, but bro, look how easy that run was.
Let's talk about the facts. DG, let's talk about the facts.
I'm not backing Arteta, by the way. He still would have bought it.
Let's deal with the facts. We watched it at home and we were absolutely mortified and horrified. You were watching it in a studio with Spurs fans at Talk Sport.
How did you cope, DG?
Imagine your face when they won it.
I don't know.
So don't give me that, I don't care about Tottenham, when everyone felt physically sick.
Do you want me to be honest, Kenny? The only time it didn't sink in at TalkSport, it sunk in when I got
and it sunk in and it pissed you off.
No, yeah, exactly. It sunk in when I got back to Edmonton and Tottenham, and I could see the fans going mad, and then the whole trophy parade.
That's a liberty. That's liberties.
It was a humbling experience because you're forgetting. I'm 30. I came into this kind of as a privileged Arsenal fan. There was a time I never ever saw Spurs finish above us. That happened. Okay, life's a bit different now. I know Spurs won the European trophy, but I'd never even think of that. They've won it now. Now I think like everything I thought that was stuff in football isn't there anymore. So yeah, no, the parade, like just seeing them all out there. That's when it's sunken.
After all what you said, DG, if we don't win a trophy this season, that is definitely it for you with this manager.
Yeah, no, Arteta has to get silverware because I believe you're good enough to get it. If you don't get it, we have to change course and do something else.
I'll be
I just want silverware. I think we're closer to it than the other way. So we need to do this. I'm not on the second year stuff all the time.
You know what I think in terms of our silverware?
This guy's a troll.
The fact is that it's you. People saying, "Oh, why?" People, I was on the show with Miguel last week. He couldn't understand the caution. He couldn't get it. I mean, the guy couldn't get the fact we were cautious. Where we've been down this road before, we've had better Arsenal teams, and he couldn't understand. He thought our caution was because we didn't want to win. He didn't say it, but that was his
Big up
viewpoint.
Odegaard, but come on, man. There's a lot of football to be played.
No, don't get me wrong. He didn't say it. He saw it as pessimism and a stick to beat the manager with, when it wasn't. The fact is, at Arsenal, is that we can't put these players in sort of like alongside their greats because they haven't won anything. And the reason why they haven't won anything is simple. Mentally, when it comes to the pressure games, despite the fact that they're physically built for pressure, mentally they're not. And that's just facts, because history has showed us the reason that has been the case.
Do you want me to have an unpopular opinion, Kenny, on that?
Yeah.
I think from what I've seen in the last 2 years, I think the players are. I don't know if the manager is.
You think the players have got mental scars?
I think they've got scars, but I think they're mentally strong enough. I think it's
But who gets the blame when that happens? It's not the players.
Unfortunately, this is the nature of football, isn't it? Like, it's got to lie with the manager. Like, it's got to lie with the manager. And I can only speak for myself. Dave. His CV. You got to remember one thing, right? Arteta could be another, like, who's the guy? You remember the guy who managed Chelsea 2018, 2019 for one season? Was that? Did you say AVB? You talking about him?
No, Chelsea, Italian guy. Was it Sorry.
Oh shit! Yeah, I just clocked the year talking about. Yeah,
but sorry. Sorry. That when they beat us in the Europa League, that's his first ever trophy he's ever won. You know that? No, seriously. Yeah, he came with a great reputation. No, I'm not knocking him because Mick Arteta will get big jobs. On the fact that he,
I believe in Arteta, but you need to
no, he'll get big jobs. The reason why I get big jobs because a lot of people are looking at the fact that we haven't won anything. And I don't see it as a decision. He's getting more kudos for, and I say it in inverted commas, and it's not a dig, for turning us around.
And what did you just say there? What did you just say there, Kenny? That's where I differentiate with a lot of Arteta apologists.
But don't get me wrong. He will get big jobs. So if I'm not a pork chop to say he wouldn't, because remember, Sorry was a good coach, but he didn't win anything
from there. We're in a new realm now. I can't look back in time now.
This guy could be the same man.
You're telling me silverware.
This guy could be the same person.
But Kenny, that's where I'm on to Arteta. You're telling me about silverware. You're showing me that.
Can I tell you about Bielsa? How much silverware has Bielsa won in his career?
I knew you.
No, seriously. I don't know.
Not that much. But he's admired by all the guys.
Yeah, he's admired exactly, and it can happen in football. But I don't think Bielsa's won anything in his career. But if anyone in the chat can help me out,
let me look on. He must have won the championship.
Bielsa hasn't won. No, Bielsa hasn't won anything.
Yeah, but he's the blueprint for everything. He's a blueprint for he's a blueprint.
I heard. Hang on a minute. I heard Real Madrid wanted Arteta. No, they didn't even come in for him.
Yeah, I don't think Real Madrid are on to Mikel Arteta anytime soon. I don't think he'll struggle to get a job, but it's time to win now, Gaffer.
See, the problem is, right? The problem is, Kenny, the thing is, right, is this manager will not, unless he wins major silverware, no big club is gonna come in for him.
I disagree. I think if he is available now, his phone would be available.
He's not going Barcelona. He won't go for Real Madrid.
Let me ask you this, DJB. Let me ask you this, DJB. Cool. Hansi Flick. I'd have Hansi Flick and Luis Enrique at Arsenal if we're doing that sacking Arteta thing. Because then for me, it's about getting over the line. So I'm just going to throw that out there, yeah? But for argument's sake, let's just say Luis Enrique's left PSG, right? Xabi Alonso's left Real Madrid. Hansi Flick has left Barcelona today. I'm not saying he will get the job and he'll be the guy. You think his phone won't ring? Like, genuinely, you think Arteta won't be on the shortlist and his phone won't ring? Genuinely, I'm not saying he'll get the job. You think his phone will ring? Because there's something there in this guy.
Don't know.
But
that's
why I'm
there's part of me leaning towards Kenny's statement.
And I just want you lot to get. I'm not with Arteta to the end. It's you need to win something now.
Yeah,
I believe in you.
There are managers out there that you need to win jobs that haven't won anything. I've got to be honest. Yeah. There are managers out there that
they get big reputations as well, don't they? They get big reputations. And that's one of the things about that's one thing about Mick Arteta. The way he's spoken about, the way he's rated, especially in this country, there logically, it'd be illogical on that basis only that his phone won't ring, because things change in football. We're in a different era. We're in a different era where
because why ain't Zidane in a big job? Why
it's not black and white now.
Zidane throws them down all the time.
It seems like because it seems like Mick Arteta's got a lot of kudos. It's only this season that people have wanted to see the results.
Yeah, and that's what annoys me, because as I keep saying, for me, I actually think you're a good manager and you've got a chance to get over the line. So if you don't get over the line, I'm asking you questions. I'm not with all these other guys making excuses. Because the gaffer says he wants to win silverware. We've been waffling for about 2 hours about our defense. We deep it. We got Eze and Gyökeres and these things. Get over the line. If you don't get over the line, we need to change course at some point. That's my
great question to ask you, though. Question to ask you on the panel. On a panel. If we're all agreed that he's a good coach, a very good one.
But then, are you a winning coach? That's my question.
No. All right.
And so far you failed.
If we all agree on that, the next question is he a good manager? Because that's a big difference to me.
Yeah. You're just not a winning manager yet.
Because I don't think he's a good manager, but I think he's a good coach.
I hear that. I hear the angle. I hear that. I could go with that as well. I hear that.
I think he's at least got to win his own domestic league first.
I think you got to,
Before you put him up there on that pedestal, before you put him as one of the best, all this madness about he's in the top 10 and he's in the top 5, based on what?
No, you're not up there with Hansi Flick and Luis Enrique and Pep.
It's like Arsenal. You can't put us at the top table until we win that Champions League. This is why the Champions League for me is the most important, because we can win Premierships, we can win FA Cups, we can win Championships, we can win FA Cups, we can win Carabao Cups, we can win Egg Cups, you can call it whatever you like. Until we win that Champions League, you can't put us at the top table. You can't do it. We're a big club, but we need that Champions League, and it's the same as the biggest underperformers as well. It's the same as the manager, whether you like it or not. That manager will never be an elite manager unless he wins his own domestic league. I'm telling you that now. And unless he wins it, he's just going to be one of these nearly men. Yeah. Oh, what about in 10, 20 years' time, we'll be going, what about Arteta then, Arsenal manager? Yeah, he done some great things, but unfortunately, he couldn't win nothing.
The only thing I would say, is
Brendan Rodgers.
If we sack Arteta, I want Hansi Flick and Enrique and these kind of guys. I don't want no more potential shit. Like, I need to get
exactly. You can't.
Let me sink in, though. Let me sink in. We all think that Ange Postecoglou is a chameleon, and we think his tactics are.
No, I like Postecoglou, man. He's frauding it now, but I like it.
But the thing is Ange, despite the fact we laughed at him and his Aussie accent and him being Aussie, he won one of the biggest trophies in world football.
He won a European trophy.
That Rolex ain't real, man. That's a fake.
It's his achievement. It was his achievement.
Big him up for that. And he did say I win stuff in my second year. So
look at the managers that have won trophies since Arteta's been in charge of Arsenal. David Moyes won a European trophy.
Yeah, but these things are rugby, though, man. You wrote that Conference League, really?
Come on, man. It doesn't matter. It's still a trophy.
No, it's true. It's true, because last summer, everyone was saying a trophy's a trophy. But I know for a fact, if we only rock up with a League Cup or FA Cup in May, people are not going to say that.
Arnie who comes in? Some people never even heard of him.
And that's where I've started to get a bit harsh on Arteta.
Yeah, but Arnie won in Holland, though. Arnie got the job because he won in Holland.
Yeah, but most people didn't even know who he was, Kenny, until he comes.
But he wanted, you know what I mean? But someone's done a study of him. They've looked at him, looked at the way his team's played. Someone's done
Eddie Howe's won a trophy, exactly.
Yeah,
but you see when you've mentioned Slot and them kind of managers, that made me look at Arteta a bit harsher. And it's somewhat to do with Arteta, but it's not. It's like, obviously people can say, oh, you only won in Holland and that. But the experience you probably getting over the line, that obviously has transferables. I think, and I, that's just what I think. And I think that only goes so far because, to be honest with you, excluding this year, the last 3 years, whether Arteta's won a league or not, There's enough lived experiences for you to know, okay, I've done this 10 times and it ain't worked. The 11th time, let me do something different. I genuinely believe the last 3 years, we haven't won the league because of us. Not because, not even saying we're the best, but like, DG, like we shot ourselves in the foot several times. And I'm quite frankly tired of it.
But DG, what playing with that? What's really bugs me at the moment is like, oh yeah, look at our squad now. Look at this now. Look at all this now. We've got the best
I know
squad
this is going on with you.
But really, when you think about it, if you was to sit down and take a moment, that team that he built last season and the team we had last season, when you think this manager had been in charge of that team for 3-4 seasons, that team should have at least won a trophy last season. It should have won an FA Cup or it should have won the Carabao Cup. That team last year was good enough to win a trophy. And this is why I've got my doubts over this manager going into this season. If he couldn't win nothing with that team last season, if he couldn't win nothing with that team last season, then why should I be overconfident that he's going to win something this season?
No one should be overconfident because
this
there's
is what I'm trying to
side of our fan base that want to pop out chest and find excuses.
I don't care what anyone says. There is no excuses for not winning a trophy last season. And yet we're making up it. Now we're saying, oh, no excuses this season. This is why
both years, no
I had
excuses.
my doubts of him being manager this season, because I'm thinking you've had your chance. You've had the money. You've had, I mean, look, people don't realise he'd spent 750 million.
I can't lie, that's one thing I agree. People move like he was under austerity, like he was Wenger in the Emirates.
You know, now he's had over $1 billion this season.
He needs to get over the line now, man.
But even last week, people forget about the past. This manager should have won trophies in the last 2 seasons. He should have won a trophy. We should have won a Premiership by now.
You know, it's like to be devil's advocate.
He hasn't done it.
If he was devil's advocate, is you think about it, right? If you want to sort of like, you know, like look at the situation, he's lost to 2 extremely strong teams and strong teams. That's not an excuse. That's a fact.
Okay.
Which means if we're using that logic, which I'm just using right now, and then maybe, just maybe,
this season might be the year.
This season, the manager we get is someone who is capable of beating those 2.
But that's what I'm saying. If we get rid of Arteta tomorrow, I want provenness now. No more potential.
We had that with
these kind of guys.
Look what Wenger had to overcome. Wenger had to overcome Alex Ferguson, who with that team of Scholes and all of that. And yet he conquered it. He found a way.
He might have lost the war, but he won a couple
battles. He found a way.
He lost the war, but he won a few battles, didn't he?
That's what we're trying to do.
What I'm trying to say is he found a way to beat that elite Man United team with that elite manager, and Wenger found a way.
We lost the war against Man United. We won 1-2 battles.
There's no way Arne Slot should have walked through that door last season and won that Premiership as easy as he did.
Exactly.
He should have. It should have.
That's what I mean. Where I said we shoot ourselves in the head.
Look, our performances. Let's forget about it, because he won it easily because us and City didn't compete. He won it at Cancer, and we just have to be honest with ourselves. This season, we've got to look at the whole situation. It's got to be one game at a time.
Facts.
You know, and you have to understand is that part of the reason why it's going to be very hard for us to win the league this season is because the Champions League, especially going up to Christmas, is basically like it's one of the most difficult. It's going to be the most difficult Champions League to win. You think about it. In between like Fulham and Crystal Palace, we've got Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid have freshened everyone in sight recently.
Yeah, there's been a lot of them.
You think about in between Spurs and Chelsea, we've got Bayern Munich. Harry Kane scored his 100th goal in 3 seasons.
I can't lie, Kenny. Ain't this what we were supposed to be? Ain't this the whole reason we moved to Emirates?
Yeah, you're right.
I know what you're doing.
But what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say, I know
what you're saying, though.
What I'm trying to say, it's got to be one game at a time, because at the end of the day, every game's got and if we got a difficult, we haven't exactly got an easy home game, because everyone's now saying Brighton. That's going to be hard as well. So it's one of those games where
every game's a cup final.
One of those games where it's got to be one game at a time. we've got to respect the opposition. But one thing we've done better than we did last season, we beat Newcastle at St James's Park.
Yeah.
We beat West Ham. So the law of averages says the team that Fulham have given us a bloody nose. We should go there because Fulham haven't got Tete, and their two strikers are. Well, is not going to be fit, Muniz, and Jimenez may not be available, so they ain't got a striker.
I hope not, man. He knows how to find it back in the net.
Now, Jimenez, which means, and Anthony Robertson hasn't played all season, has he?
Got to beat Fulham. Have to beat Fulham. Palace
it's not going to be like the same team, but Fulham do. You know what I mean? They've got Session at left back, but he had an Anthony Robinson, in my opinion, and they got a situation where they got a good side, but who's their finisher? But one thing we do know about Fulham, they're going to give everything. They're going to. We've
got a target on their head. Everyone wants to be the
raise the game. Yeah, but they're going to raise. They're going to raise the game. One, it's Arsenal. Two, they know they can beat us at their grounds. It's going to be a bloody hard game.
Even that, just looking at these games, you can't see where the wins are coming. Like you can't say that's sure bet. If we want to win the league,
we have to go there and win.
Sunderland away is going to be tough as well.
Under the lights, yeah. Granit Xhaka and all that.
Sunderland away under the lights. I'm telling you now.
Yeah,
with their home crowd,
make it happen.
With that home crowd, and they've been doing okay at home. Sunderland are relying on their home form to stay up, and so far they're doing all right. So and Xhaka will wind them up in the changing rooms. Don't you worry about that. Xhaka,
we need to get him sent off for once. We need the Arsenal tax. We need to get him out.
You see why I'm worried about Declan Rice? He's not, in my opinion, he's not fully fit. We've got all these games with intensity.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm worried.
Rest him against
games. I need Rice to get a yellow card in this game and Zubamendi. So they missed this.
Yeah, rest him against Atleti. Rest him against Atleti. You don't need Declan, probably.
Atleti's a blue room game, DJB.
I don't think we can rest Rice against them, man.
Because Atleti are a top side in Europe.
Yeah, no, we can't.
True. And if we take 3 points there, we're on 9 points going into that Slavia game.
I think 9 points. We're halfway there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, mate, you're right. But no, it's all good.
That's what I need to hear.
Definitely. Onwards and upwards.
Avoid the playoffs. We need 12 points to avoid the playoffs, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and we ain't got time for another. Yeah, exactly. We don't need more games.
Our next two home games are Atletico Madrid and Bayern Munich.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Rice play against Atletico, get a yellow card like Zubamendi because you'll be suspended for Prague. If we can't beat Prague without them, we got issues. You're back for that.
See Tottenham, then you
got after Derby as well.
Bayern Munich.
That's going to be. I'll tell you what, it'll be a different Tottenham team this season.
Thomas Frank's got them better tactically. It's going to be hard.
I'm telling DG that game, that North London derby is going to be tough this season.
And I don't know about you guys, but like obviously, just on my screen, we've got Fulham, Atletico, Palace, Brighton, Burnley, Slavia, Sunderland, North London Derby, Bayern, Chelsea.
They're all
obviously,
tough. You can take them.
That's what I'm saying. You can't really
they're all going to
go on a little run here.
Listen, it's all right. People saying, "Oh, we're going to win our next 5." Listen, when you
don't know what's going to happen.
When you're chasing a Premier League title. And there's added pressure on this. This manager is under immense pressure. Trust me. He knows his job's finished if he doesn't win it this season. He knows he's gone. He knows that. He ain't stupid. One thing with Arteta, he's not a silly person. He comes out with a load of crap, but he's not silly, right? He knows he's under pressure. So every single game is tough. It's got something on it. Sunderland game, Brighton game, Tottenham, every single game you play this season, he's got something on it. So it's not going to be easy. No way.
And you know what scares me as well? Like, it's a bit weird, but like, you could include Fulham. But like, I'm not to say we're going to win everything. I'm not necessarily scared anymore of Bayern Munich, of Chelsea.
You're worried about the Sunderland away, aren't you?
Yeah, it's them kind of games where
it's a big stadium, but we can't.
Bananas.
By the way, can I just say something to Tommy? I don't drink. I haven't had a drink for 13 years, and it's you got. And this saying the way
got the nonsense in the chat, man.
Come on, behave yourself. We're having a good debate.
What's he
Yeah,
on
respect.
about?
Stop being silly. Stop being silly.
DG, sorry, my guy. It's I've got to make a move very shortly, my friend.
Yeah, no, man. But that, like, I don't even know how. This is why I love you lot here. Somehow,
we're 2 hours, 40
yeah,
minutes.
time just flies. I always have in my head that I only want
Yeah,
this, like,
I've got
an hour. I don't know
the thing about it, right, is that
I'll go my training on a Wednesday night.
It's relevant chat. You know, the contracts, the stadium expansion, going to Wembley.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I love it.
And obviously, you know, we got a plot where next season, because next week's game, next week's show, 3 days later, we're going to go to Craven Cottage.
Next week's show, we're going to Craven Cottage. Yeah.
Craven Cottage.
I might go.
Are you going to the game? You got a ticket?
I might go Fulham. Yeah, I might.
I'm there anyway.
Away from home is definitely better than the Emirates. Like, actually, around some decent fans.
I like Craven Cottage. I like Palace.
One thing I will say, DJ. Yeah, I'm going. 100%. One thing I will say to you. The worst time to play Fulham is in December. It is so bloody cold.
Oh no, it's awful. It's wide open, that terrace, isn't it? Wide open.
And you know the worst thing about it?
It comes off the river, doesn't it? It comes off the river, the wind.
And you know the worst thing about it? When it rains, you got to walk through some bloody park, and the mud is that thick.
Yeah, madness.
Thick.
And make sure you got your old trainers on, lads.
Listen, I've got a soft spot for Fulham. I've got to admit, they're my sort of second favourite kind of. They're the team that I look out for if Arsenal are not playing.
They remind me of like the other half of our fan base.
Obviously, when Arsenal are playing Fulham, guys, I want Arsenal.
It is what it is. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if Fulham are playing anyone else, I want them to win.
You know, Fulham fans. I say it respectfully.
They're lovely
fans. Look like contestants from University Challenge.
Yeah, they're good. They're good fans, Fulham fans, man.
Seriously, some of their fans look like contestants from University Challenge.
Yeah, well, they're very educated round there, Kenny. They're not the rough. They're not rough like you lot.
They just remind me of the posh Arsenal fans, man.
Right.
They're not the rough end, are they? They're more like us boys in Essex.
I'll say one thing. Imagine, I swear the
Essex boys.
I swear the houses. You know when you go to Stevenage Road with Fulham. Yeah. I swear the 2 up 2 downs are worth 2 million.
Oh mate, they're massive. Let's all round. Yeah, I know exactly.
They're living a life, man. Prawn sandwiches and
half of them are still a penny behind. Half of them wouldn't mind being a penny behind you, though, Kenny. Trust me.
True. I'll tell you one thing, though. I like you. I'll tell you one thing, though. You know the weirdest thing about Fulham is that Chelsea's in Fulham.
Yeah.
And Fulham are in Fulham Palace Road.
It's weird as hell.
Chelsea's more of a Fulham club than Fulham is.
Yeah. It's a nice little ground, though, isn't it, Craven Cottage? It is a nice ground.
Fulham's in Fulham.
It's like Palace as well. I love Palace.
I'm jealous of them because you're actually kind of close to the team, like being there. We ain't got that.
Yeah, but can you imagine it? Fulham is in Putney, in Fulham, which is nearer to Wandsworth, whilst Chelsea's
actually Fulham. It's Fulham Broadway.
It's actually Fulham.
Yeah, but we can't get on the debate, can we, about,
it's weird.
Shit as well.
Yeah.
Big
up, my friend.
Yeah. But yeah, people, we're going to let Kenny and DJB get out of here. Where can we
This show's been on fire. I've enjoyed myself.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
This is why I look forward to Wednesdays, man.
Yeah.
Hey, SLD, all I've got to say to you, right, if I do see you, there is no way you're getting... I was going to buy you some souffla. I'm going to buy you
SLD, I thought you was on your way to A&E.
Yeah, exactly, man.
When you're talking to Mendy and Zidane, you're like...
You know what?
I don't know how he manages it. He trolls every stream without fail.
But he's getting nothing there for that.
So, and he needs his ears tested as well, because I said I've got a soft spot for Fulham. If they don't play Arsenal, I always hope that they've beaten.
He needs this tested because he makes things up. I'm telling you said something.
You know, SLD. I never said I'm jumping from Arsenal to Fulham. I said that they're the team that I look out for.
He's taking tablets, man.
He's a troll.
Yeah,
he's a troll, man. But he comes in just to say nonsense, man. But let's let these two get out of here, though, man. DJB and Kenny Ken. Just before I let you lot get out of here, on behalf of myself in the chat, thank you as always. Where can people find you?
Big up, Arsenal Huddle. I've got a stream tonight. And
What time?
I'm going live tonight about 9:40, and then
Let's
me and
redirect
Kenny
to
Ken,
that.
What
me
time
and Kenny-
tomorrow? What time is it?
me and Kenny,
what time?
6:15. Kenny, can you make it?
6:15, that's all right.
Me and Kenny Ken will be doing a Thursday tea time chat.
All
I
better
don't know,
be there.
Kenny. Yeah, me and Kenny Ken will be doing a Thursday tea time chat on Thursday, and then I'll do my Sunday night sit back session, Sunday night post match, and all of that. And yeah, and then I'll be around the streams, Dan's, DG's, Lee's.
Always welcome me. Big up Lee and Dan as well.
Aaron's as well. Shane.
Big up
Retro
Aaron.
show Tuesday. Yeah,
but I had a great time. I have a great time today. It's just the conversation has flowed. So we talked about some very pertinent points.
So it's a pleasure. We stuck
to the topic as well. You know what I mean?
Free amigos.
Can't knock it.
Literally.
Free amigos.
Exactly.
This is why we need a title.
Big up the chat as well. Awesome.
Come on, big up the chat. Kenny, you ain't promoted your Insta, man. I always see you doing match reviews.
My Insta is at Kenny Ken 1972, and tomorrow England are playing Wales at Wembley, so I'll be able to watch it.
I'm gonna give that a skip, man.
Oh Jesus Christ!
If I don't see if I don't see Lewis Kelly start, I'm not interested. Big up Saka and Rice.
Have you got any gigs for the World Cup then with Talk Sport?
No, but if there's any brand, shout me. I'd love to be in America there. I'd love to be there. I'd love to be at the World Cup. Have you seen the ticket prices?
We'll promote you, DG. We'll promote you.
I appreciate that. Because I'll go on holiday, but it's an arm and a leg. I need some brands.
There's one. If you get tickets and get out to the World Cup, you got to take me and Kenny because we're your Wednesday. We're your Wednesday.
The lads on tour, man. We're there. We're good.
You know what I mean?
I'm down for that, man.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'd rather go to the Mexico games than the American games because
me and Kenny are never really far apart.
That's fire, mate. Mexico be fire.
Are we, Kenny? We're never far apart in Stream World.
There's me and Kenny. And it's Bergkamp and Henry.
I'll tell you one thing. I think it's more realistic that with the Euros being held in the
2028, isn't it?
Yeah, 2028. If you want gigs, the gigs you should be looking for gigs in about 3 years' time because it's going to be massive. And hopefully, like Euro 2021. To all you pork chop Euro 2020, all you idiots who try to F up the final by trying to barge your way in.
That is a safety.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for us.
Kenny's watching you. Exactly.
No, seriously, I was ashamed of them. I
was, mate. I was
ashamed of them.
What they don't realise is the knock-on effect it has, Kenny.
Exactly. But you're risking your life. You could put, as graphic as it sounds, you could push through, and unfortunately, you're a victim of a stampede. What a way to go.
Exactly.
But you know how people are, they're selfish, man.
That is typical, disgusting, low life behaviour. Don't embarrass us ever again like this, you guys. Exactly. How dare you? You didn't have a ticket, you thought you could just barge in. How dare you?
Go watch in the pub, man. Relax.
Exactly.
Right.
Never forgive these guys. Never forgive
I have got to fly, my people.
I'll see you guys soon.
On that, people, we're out.
We're out.
Respect, love, bless everyone.
DJB Kenny Ken. See you next Wednesday. Chat. Big up yourself. Like,
big up my friends. Big up. Catch you later.
And we're out.
Against this right back, Charlie's definitely.
Alright, people. Next video is coming out at 7:17.